Where'd you guys go? Come on back. Come back. If you are wondering what I'm talking about, the first stream had to be shortened because water was coming out of the window that's located right up there. Which is right behind the computer, and I had to make sure everything was okay. So that's what we did, and that's why I look like a wet dog, basically. So we're back. We are back. We'll see how many people are coming back. We're gonna try to finish this. We got done with the course and tournament information. Now we're gonna get right into the swing of everything else. Yeah. It is insane. So there's a windowsill. I'm in the basement, so there's a windowsill right there, and enough water just poured in where it was actually above the window line, and it just literally just. It was like all those shark movies you've ever watched where the bolts start popping or whatever. That's literally how the water was starting to come out. So, one, had to make sure all the holes were patched. Two, had to make sure there's no water on the computer. But I built the desk that. Oh, I know why my camera's weird. There we go. So one. Yeah, had to plug the leak. Two, had to go outside, dig the water out of the windowsill. And then three, put boards over the windowsill to prevent the water from coming in. It is, I mean, it's one of the biggest rainstorms I think we've had in like 5 years. It just poured heavy. So yeah, and then I had to make sure there's no water on the computer. Everything is good. Like I said, I built this computer desk. I built it to be mobile, and it's all wood. I took what was it, 72 inches? It's 6 feet long, I think. 6 feet by 36 inches, something like that. 72 by 36, and everything underneath I can lift off of the ground. And it's actually elevated, so any water that came down wouldn't touch my computer. But I also have my computer on my second shelf, and the table's actually 3 feet high. It's 36 inches high. So, like, we're really good with no rain hitting the computer. I was afraid. I've got 4K monitors right in front of me. I was afraid that water was coming down on those things, but no outlets are here. Surprisingly, I think I built it this way to make sure if this were ever to happen, that everything would be okay. Like, I would need to have like 3 feet, or no, I'd have to have about a foot of standing water for it to touch my computer. So we're good. We're back, which is just nuts. Oh yeah, well, the funny thing is, I'm like thinking to myself, what else am I going to do tonight? I'm going to have to monitor, so there is a possibility if I see water leaking again, I've got a good eye level. I have the window tarped right now, so, which is, you know, isn't the smartest of ideas. If I see it starting to bulge, or, I mean, there's like little cracks in it, so I'm going to be able to see the water leaking. It's not like it's just going to hold a ton of water and just burst. So, yeah. Told my girlfriend the optimizer is gone. That's funny. Anyways, yeah, we've got towels and paper towels. I've got a heater down here trying to dry up everything. When I shop vaxed because my computer's sitting on a carpet, or the table's sitting on a carpet just got drenched. It was nuts. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I would say if you are just watching this stream and you haven't seen the first one, obviously this says round 2. Thumbnails are the same. Go watch that first one. Go all the way up until I'm like, there's water coming out of my window. And then you can cut that and then come back here. Let's pick up where we left off. Let me double check everyone in the chat. Phil Smart said, hey, you survived. Yes, sir. Probably got some mosquitoes in here now, so that's wonderful. Stupid mosquitoes. AJ Love's back. Barry R's back. Love it. Well, hopefully we can get some more people coming back. So I hate that because like in the first stream, I asked people, hey, you know, if we get to 25 likes on the video, I'll give away some memberships. So I'll say this: if we get 20 likes on this video while I'm streaming, I'm probably going to be streaming for 2.5 hours, something like that, or until the dam breaks and water just starts pouring out again. So we shall see. Anyways, let's just cruise through the rest of this. All right. And we're going to start with pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. This is presented to you by the Fantasy Golf Bot. At least they're sponsoring this. Go give them a like and a subscribe if you haven't. Chad likes to go live on Wednesday mornings around 11 a.m. So go check them out. They're the ones that are giving us $100. That's one thing I should mention. Let me go. I don't think I can do this actually. Here. Let's remind you as to what is it? Gosh, look at this. Just struggling. There we go. I found it. There it is. It's different. It's different because this is a different whatever. If you didn't already know, I'm giving away $5 weekly, $100 monthly. If I can get 6 new subscribers by the end of this stream, I think it's still 6. I'll have to double check on that. But if we can get 6 new subscribers, no, 5. We just need 5 new subscribers. I'll give $100 out. It's right there. $100. Sorry, it's shoddy. This is a different transition. But anyways, yes, this is available for you. This is what Chad and the Fantasy Golf Pod are switching it from 50 to 100. That's kind of their contribution to take this segment. So go thank them, and let's get 5 new subscribers so we can give away the $100. All right, where am I at? We need to get the display capture up. Okay, cool. Little rainstorm just messes up the whole smoothness of the stream. Always happens. Anyways, optimal lineup for 2017. The reason that I like to go over the optimal lineup is to try to figure out different salary structures on what to build for your lineups. Now, this is a signature event. We went over that during the course and tournament information. This is a signature event, and that means there are less golfers in the field. Most of the time, this tournament is an invite of 120 golfers, but now we only have 73. But I still think the salary structures, you want to use the same salary structures, and I'll explain why as we go through this. In 2017, your optimal lineup left a ton of money on the table, $1,700. So what does that tell us? It means the cream did not rise to the top. The high salary golfers, which are DraftKings power rankings, those did not fit inside the top 10. You can see Jordan Spieth's down here at $11,000. So we'll pay attention to that as we go through this. How often does that happen where we don't see many top 10 golfer, I should say 10K golfers inside the top 10? And obviously here you didn't. The most expensive golfer that you see is $9,400 that's inside the top 10. And your optimal lineup, that's it, 9,489. Well, it was 94, 89, 87, 76, 73, 64. And that's how you leave $1,700 on the table. Now, a more realistic lineup is only leaving like $500 on the table. And that's basically going 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, skipping out on that $6,400 cheap guy, which, you know, you wouldn't, I mean, if you were thinking about a lineup to make in 2017, would you rather have had Kevin Kisner or Anirban Lahiri to go in this lineup? Like, you wouldn't have done a 1-for-1 change. So yeah, that's my take on it. But moving to 2018, your optimal lineup left this same amount of money on the table. It's a little bit different of a construction. We actually do have several 10K golfers inside the top 10, but none inside the top 5. So you have Justin Rose, 10-6. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 makes up the optimal lineup. And again, that's 48,300. So leaving $1,700 on the table. I have a more realistic lineup, but this isn't like super. I wouldn't leave $1,000 on the table. So I'm not actually going to go over this one. In 2019, your optimal lineup left $1,500 on the table. 10, 8, 6, 7, 8, 7. So that's 10, 2 8s. See, 10, 2 8s. Just gotta make sure 2 7s and a 6. There we go. A 10, 2 8s, 2 7s, and a 6. That left a lot of money on the table. The $5 drive the green lineup had a 10, 8, 9, 7, 7, 6. Or a different way to say that is a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. You all know the whole jingle that I always talk about during the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Start your lineups with a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 approach. Make a couple substitutions here and there. If you don't want a 9K and you want an additional 8K, that'll work. If you don't want any 10Ks, you move down to 9K, that'll work. But always start with that 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 because not only is it the most common GPP winning lineup build, it is also the most common optimal lineup build, which means the perfect lineup. You can't beat a perfect lineup. You can only tie it. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. And then two more common builds would be a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7 and a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. Those three builds make up, I think it's like 33% of your GPP winning lineups and 25% of your optimal lineups. And then it just breaks down like, it gets really weird. Those are the highest percentages by far. And then it drops down to like 3% is one. And I will show that throughout the website once I get that. Once I get those pieces added to the website, I will show you how that looks. It'll be wonderful. We'll be able to look at it more in depth that way. A more realistic lineup would have been a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. Same way. And that leaves $400 on the table. It would have beat your drive the green lineup. But again, just letting you know, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. In 2020, this is when you come back from COVID. You had 5 tournaments right before this one. So DraftKings pricing might have been a little bit different, but your optimal lineup left $2,900 on the table. We had a 9, 8, 8, 6, 7, 8. Or just say differently, a 9, 3 8s, a 7, and a 6 to leave $2,900 on the table. That's ridiculous. The $3 birdie used up all $50,000 of the salary, and we had 2 9s, an 8, a 7, a 6, and another 9. So make that 3 9s, an 8, a 7, and a 6. Does that make sense? 3 9s. Yeah, 8, 7, 6. There we go. A more realistic lineup. I think, did I choose a 10K golfer? I did not. Would have been the same way. It would have been 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 7. Yep, that's it. For a reason that didn't sound like 6 numbers, but it was. So 2020 was weird. I almost would just cast it out. Like, it's not that, yeah. In 2021, your optimal lineup left $400 on the table. We had a 10, 9, 9, 6, 6, 7. So 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. Your GPP winning lineup was 49,900, and that was a 9, 9, 7, 6. This was bad. 6, and I think this is the one that Rom withdrew. Yeah. So here you go. One of the only tournaments where a golfer who withdraws was in the GPP winning lineup. But obviously that's, you know, it's crazy. That, I mean, he was forced out because of COVID, but still scored enough points in his 3 rounds to be in the GPP winning lineup. And by the way, he was 11,100. So that's a 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. I see some chats. I'll get to those after going through this. Optimal lineup in 2022 left $1,700 on the table, 48,300, and that was a 7, 7, 8, 9, 8, 8. So like you're seeing a lot of balance builds with these optimal lineups. Lots of balance, lots of multiple 9s or multiple 8s, which Remember, those are all 120-man fields. This year's field is only 73, so we'll talk more about that when we get into it. Your GPP winning lineup that year used up 49,800 of the salary, and it was very balanced as well. 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. That's as balanced as you can basically get. $7,900 was the cheapest golfer that person had. So maybe that's what we need to be looking at, is more of a balanced build. To me, a more realistic lineup would be a 10, 8, 8, and 3 sevens. But again, that's pretty balanced. And then last year, 49,800 used up the salary for the optimal lineup, and that was an 11, 9, 7, 8, 6, 6. Or just put it a different way, that is a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. So, and again, that's usually a pretty common optimal lineup build. Like somewhere in 10% of lineups are going to be built like that, maybe 8%, somewhere between 8 to 10%. Your GPP winning lineup that year left $300 on the table. That was a 9, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. All right, let's say that differently. That is a 9, 3 8s, and 2 7s. And the cheapest golfer there was 7,600. So that was 2 years in a row. Your GPP winning lineup was super balanced. And even the year before. So it's 3 years in a row where it was super balanced. Now, I did keep track of the SweetSpot Optimal. Your GPP winning lineup scored 512. The SweetSpot scored 525. This follows the SweetSpot rules, which I will be doing using the optimizer, building lineups for you guys later on. It uses the SweetSpot rules. So that would be a 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, or another way of saying another balanced lineup. So what does that all mean? Let's talk about this. This week is a signature event. It's a limited field signature event, and that means there's only 73 golfers. The cream will rise to the top. Most of the time, these signature events, you're going to have the best golfers in the world playing at the top level. But I will, I guess, preface that with a lot of golfers are in play this week. You know, it's not just going to be a simple, I mean, I think the conversation is always going to be, do you jam in Scottie or no? And if it's not Scottie, do you like Rory more so than Scottie? Or Xander? Like, all those top golfers are really, really good. And I don't think you want to be fading any of them. I mean, honestly, I will always be a Scottie truther until he proves me wrong. I think he's a generational talent. I think everyone knows that. He's not, Tiger good, but he's just one of those golfers. I tell my friend this all the time that just started playing DFS. I'm like, who would you rather roster? Someone that you would be pissed off getting wrong, or someone that might not win you a GPP but isn't going to fail you? Like someone who might be boring. That, I mean, like, when I think about this, it's like, I blacklisted Jason Day for the longest period of time because he would always withdraw. I'd have a good lineup, and he was the only reason my lineup didn't do well. And it always tilted me. So I kind of developed this, well, why play Jason Day? Are you going to be mad if he's in the GPP winning lineup more so than you would be if you rostered him and missed the cut? And that's how I look at everything now. I would be upset if I didn't play Scottie Scheffler and he was in the GPP winning lineup. I would not be upset if Rory was in the GPP winning lineup, or Xander, or Viktor Hovland. But if Scottie was and I didn't roster him, I'd be upset because I know he's the best golfer in the field. So why wouldn't I play Scottie? I know there's the contrarian piece to this, but I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this. Doing the pivot game, the game theory game, is hoping other people lose, which to me is a loser's mindset. You're hoping for other people to get it wrong. in order for you to win money. I just think Scottie Scheffler is the guy that is the one to beat. And he's always going to be the one to beat. The guy hits it super straight, doesn't really get offline that much, and hits his irons pin high, the safest part of the green almost all the time. Like, he's never going to get himself into the trouble that Rory McIlroy would get himself into. So, to tie this all back in with pass optimal and GPP lineups, if Scottie is the answer, we just saw where there are several 8K golfers, several 9K golfers inside the top 10. Is this a week where you could go 12, 9, 8 or 12, 8, 8? And the answer is yes, you could do either of those. I was messing around with the optimizer earlier and doing a 12, 9, 8 because, spoiler alert, there are golfers in the 9K range and 8K range that fit in those combo buckets that I talked about in the first video that I will show you a little bit later that are just, they're perfect. They're perfect for lineup building. So I shouldn't say spoiler alert, but a little teaser for you guys. And that's really all that I have left to talk about with pass optimal GPP lineups, because I do think that the question is to Scottie or not to Scottie, and it might be that way for a long period of time. And I think it's the right play, even after going through all the pass optimal and GPP lineups. And I guess that's the other thing I should say here. Here's a disclaimer. There is the possibility that Scottie finishes 5th or 6th. It seems as if the 8K and the 9K range do well at this tournament. And I think the golf course might just level off the might level the playing field to some extent. So the top price guys don't get much of a boost as some of those lower price guys or the 9 and 8K range. So my 2 cents, but you guys do you. It's something I was just thinking about. All right, I see some chats coming through. I'm going to try to catch up to these. All righty. Looks like AJ Love said she was worried. She said it's optimizer night. Damn, looked like the rain in the Minneapolis regions and it all came down. Yeah, it's like from Byron, like I don't know where actually Byron's located, but it was Des Moines all the way up. So I live in an area where we got this thing called the Laurentian Divide that splits across the country. Actually, it's like the Continental Divide that splits off into the Laurentian Divide, and then I can't remember what is it the St. Lawrence? Oh no, the Laurentian's this way and the St. Lawrence divide's that way. I'm like right at that 3 points. Hibbing, Minnesota is right in the middle of the 3 different sections. Anything that comes from the north, from that Laurentian Divide, or from the east doesn't hit. Anything from the southwest hits, and if you watch this thing, it was going up I-35, just straight north. And that's the only time we get hit, and we got hit hard. So yeah, it was crazy. Philip goes, "You are the man, Eric. Was just checking back in and glad to see you're back and got things worked out." Yeah, I mean, it was digging out all the water that was in the windowsill and then putting up a barrier over it so no more water gets in. And 20 minutes, 30 minutes of time, I went to go check in on it again, and it didn't look like any water was actually getting in there. And it's not raining hard anymore. So I think we're good. I think we're in the clear. Obviously, there's some wet spots that still need to be dried, but that's going to take time. So I kind of was like, what else am I going to do? Cody Gambill says, "Are you in Texas?" Nope, I'm in Minnesota. Bill Smart says, "I know we aren't there yet, but I'm curious your thoughts on the top 9 marquee groups, depending on whether they go off in twosomes or threesomes." They do go off in twosomes, and we have learned even in the signature events, the Marquee Tee Times still hold true. They still hold weight. So we will be doing that as well. Obviously, nothing is set in stone. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, wait. Meaning, do you not expand it down to, say, the top 13 groups? Yeah, so Phil, the reason why I don't expand it, I'll show you why, and it's very simple. I will in the future, but it's a nice little ring to it, like the top 9 groups. It used to be the top 10 groups and here's the reason why. On the optimizer, I've got 9 groups and then a max. I got to create the max rule because when we get to Marquee Tee Times, you obviously know you want to select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times, and you don't want to select more than one from one of the Marquee Tee Times. This maximizes all the rules that I can actually put into an Excel optimizer. So this is through Excel. I can't build anymore. The solver won't let me. So I've maxed out the amount of rules that I can create. And unfortunately, that means there's only 9 groups. I do think you want to narrow it down anyways, because a big part of this, the whole SweetSpot process isn't necessarily something that gives you answers. It gives you buckets of golfers to select from and then to ignore. So you select a certain amount of golfers and you ignore the rest that are in that bucket. You go to the next bucket, you select some of those golfers, ignore the rest. Go to the next. So it gives you options. It gives you very small buckets to select golfers from. Because obviously we know golf has different variations of what can happen, variants as people call it. And the buckets just do a wonderful job of narrowing down player pools that you want to select golfers from. You know, obviously we see that week in and week out when the buckets are like 35 out of 36 correct, 34 out of 36. So, yeah, and it's still, I don't think there's ever going to be anything that can absolutely predict which golfers are going to be inside the top 10 and which are not. Let's see here. Obviously nothing is set in stone. Philip Hall goes, question, I have heard you say you don't like playing guys from the same salary range, but seems like there's always at least 2 guys winning from the same salary range. Philip, I hate playing golfers that are the same exact salary price. So if there's a $7,400 golfer and another $7,400 golfer, because my brain has never really seen it happen, obviously we've seen it happen here and there, but I just don't see it often enough. It's a superstition thing. That's just, it's a me thing. There's no data that really supports it. I guess the only data I would provide is you only see it like less than 10% of the time, like less than 5% of the time probably. And I just rather not deal with it. Like it's just a weird thing. Like you don't see it often, so why play it? That's the reason why. Am I totally misunderstanding something, or is it just a certain salary range? Okay, I just answered that question. Yeah, Philip, I think you mean maybe with the exact. Okay, Phil said it. Yep, bucket system allows for guys from the same salary range. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. But I don't even make that a rule, to be honest. Yeah, Phil, you don't have to. It's just something I've heard him say. Building lineups. Not that it's a rule or not part of SweetSpot. Jody Garrison, nice to see you back. Cash, Xander, Collin, Keegan, Glover, Kitayama, Straka. I don't know if Kitayama's a cash play. I think Kitayama is a GPP play. Like, I don't trust Kitayama whatsoever. The rest of them, I think, are fine. I think the rest of them are fine for a cash lineup. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you again. Glad you got it fixed. Barry R says, could you bring up the optimal lineups for the past couple elevated events to get an idea of the player? Do you guys want to see that? Put a 1 in chat if you want to see that. If I get 3 more of you guys that want to see that, I will pull up every signature event for this year to show you what the optimal lineup is. Just let me know. Phil Smart says, thanks for the explanation. Absolutely, dude. That's why I'm here. True meaning of the bucket system. Darbo Bailey. Yep, that's with buckets. Oh, and it was not optimal. I'll tell you that. It was not optimal. I did not have the optimal bucket to pour water out. All right. 3 people. So we will pull up. Let's pull up the first one being the Genesis. The second one being the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Oh, whoa, ATT Pebble Beach. That, I don't know if I really count ATT Pebble Beach. That's not a tournament that really worked out. RBC Heritage was another one. there's a chance I might crash. Like Google Sheets has been, or Google has just been having a hard time with these Google Sheets. See, what else did we have? Was that it? Oh, Wells Fargo Championship. There we go. Okay. Jody asked, can I do a PMAM build? Yeah, I can do anything you want me to. I imagine everyone in Minnesota has a shovel. Yes, we do. I didn't have the perfect shovel for getting water out of the... I didn't get the perfect shovel for water out of a windowsill. But yes. Okay, so for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, that was earlier this year that Wyndham Clark won from just having 3 rounds of golf. Just mind you, 3 rounds of golf. If I go to 2024, we've got Wyndham at 7K, Oberg at 9K, Pavon at 71, 66, 63, and 67. So your optimal lineup left $6,900 on the table. So just, that's nuts. You're never doing that. So the GPP winning lineup had 11, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. That was your GPP. No, it was not. Well, it was. I just selected the wrong 6K golfer. So just to repeat that, 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. 10, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. And it's not even a 10, it's an 11. So it's to Scottie Scheffler or not to Scottie Scheffler. And oh, by the way, the Sweet Spot Optimal was also with Scottie. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. GPP scored 555.5. The Sweet Spot scored 558.5. And the Optimal scored 587. So that's pretty crazy. That was the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Again, we're looking at these because they're signature events, trying to get an idea of what kind of builds we want to be playing this week. This is the Genesis Invitational, another signature event. And this one had, for your optimal lineup, 10, 9, 7, 7, 7, 6. And that used up 48.4. So $1,600 was left on the table. Your GPP winning lineup had a 10, 9, 8, Tom Kim down here, 7, 7, 7. That's the third most common optimal slash GPP winning lineup build. The Sweet Spot Optimal had a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7 as well. And the GPP scored 630.5. Sweet Spot scored 646. The Optimal scored 661.5. So that's a cheaper 10K golfer. That is not Scottie Scheffler or even Rory McIlroy. Where was Scottie? It's Scottie 11.5, 10th place. Can we beat a GPP winning lineup using Scottie? Let's double check. The GPP scored 630.5. So if I highlight over Scottie and we put the 3 top guys here, 776, can I do this 9K golfer and this 8K golfer? That's $50,700. So no, we cannot. But I just need to lose $700. I can go to Adam Hadwin right here. That's $49,800. Let's see what that scores. That scored 639, and the GPP winning lineup scored 630.5. So a Scottie Scheffler lineup could have won the Genesis Invitational, any of those Genesis Invitational contests. Well, the Drive the Green, to be more specific. All right, Arnold Palmer Invitational. This is another signature event. And again, we're looking at this because this week at the Memorial is a signature event. And this is much more like the Memorial because we have a cut. Optimal lineup left $200 on the table, scored 584. GPP winning lineup scored 562 and used up all 50,000. The optimal lineup was 11, 8, 7, 8, 8, 6. And look how many 8K golfers are in the top 10. You had, well, actually in the top 6. You had 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8K golfers might not be something to sleep on this week. Your GPP winning lineup scored 562, and that's with the 3 same golfers at the top, 11, 8, 7, 8, 7, and we scroll down to a 6K golfer. Your Sweet Spot Optimal So the GPP scored 562. Ooh, the sweet spot only scored 558. So it was 4 points behind the GPP winner, which is unfortunate. That's 11.87.696. So 10.98.766 is how that you would say that. All right. So that was the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I see Joanne's leaving. Good night, Joanne. What's going on, Charlie Carden? We are back. All right, so the RBC Heritage this year, optimal lineup left $400 on the table. And it started with a 13-3 Scottie Scheffler, $9,200 Wyndham Clark. So 13-9, 6, 7, 7, 6. Or to say that differently, that's a 10-9-7-7-6-6. And just to show you, this was a 6K and above. You know how DraftKings has been doing 5K salary ranges? That is not what happened for the signature event at the RBC Heritage. It was 6K. 6K was the stone minimum. So two of these guys in the optimal lineup were basically stone minimum, 6,100 and 6,200. It's Seamus and Patrick Rogers. Your GPP winning lineup scored 632.5. Here, let's just go through those totals. Optimal scored 645. GPP scored 632. And the Sweet Spot scored 640. So Sweet Spot actually beat the GPP. But the GPP was 13-8-7-7-6-7. So to say that differently, that would be the 13K golfer and Scottie Scheffler, one 8K golfer, 3 7s, and a 6. So 10, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6. And then the Sweet Spot optimal was 13, 3, 92, 2 7s, a 6, and another 6. Alejandro Tosti, way down there. And then one last signature event was the Wells Fargo Championship. Let me zoom in on this one. The optimal left $500 on the table, and it started with an 11-8 Rory McIlroy. Did Scottie play this tournament? I don't remember. Is this the one he took off? I don't have him. I don't remember him not playing, but obviously that happened. I think maybe his baby was being born, I imagine. All right, where's my mouse? There we go. Okay, so no Scottie in this tournament, but it does start with the most expensive golfer in Rory McIlroy, 11-8. And oh, by the way, Xander was second place, but he was 40 points behind Rory. But two 11K golfers at the top. But your optimal left $500 on the table. It was 11-8, 81, 78, 79, 66, 73. So a different way to say that would be a 10, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6 for your optimal lineup. So that's also very similar to the last signature event we were just looking at, which was the RBC Heritage. Your GPP winning lineup was 10, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6. So the exact same thing. And the Sweet Spot optimal was 10, 8, 7, 7, 7, 6. So this year, minus the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, you saw the most expensive golfer in the optimal lineup. So I don't know if that's going to change this week. I bet you it doesn't. I bet you Scottie wins this tournament. It's going to be another prestigious tournament under Scottie's belt. Why wouldn't he win it? And man, I kind of almost want to make a bold claim and say Scottie wins this week and he wins next week. I think, like, I don't ever use these words, but it's the first word that came to mind. Low key. I think low key Scottie Scheffler is motivated beyond belief because of the Louisville. Did you hear him say that? Louisville Police Department. I think, like, he is motivated. I think you just pissed off Scottie Scheffler. I think the Louisville police department pissed off Scottie Scheffler. The whole proceedings, everything. I think this guy, it's that calm storm. You can tell when a nice guy is mad. It is quiet. It is to the point, and I think that's Scottie right now. Oof. I can't wait, man. Can't wait. So yeah, we went over that because the chat wanted to see it. We went over all the signature events to go with the pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. I'm going to do the same thing I did before I cut the stream short. If you're in chat, just post the word optimal, and you will get, for roll call number 3, you will get credit for that. So we'll give you another giveaway opportunity, or another entry into the giveaway. So just put in optimal, the word optimal, OPTIMAL. And oh, by the way, if you're watching this on replay, just type in optimal also, and I will get you an entry into here. Ooh, I like that. Shot like Harden using the emotes. Love it. Nuke, nice to see you as well, or nice to see you back. Jim, nice to see you too. Jim not saying present this time. John Bisel, nice to see you back too, man. Again, just like in the first video, if we get to 25 likes, actually, no, I said it 20. If we get to 20 likes, I will give out 5 memberships, YouTube memberships. It's a new month, therefore I get to give out some new ones. Jim Lemoyne, you are correct, sir. Shoveling water is not optimal. J.K. Lawrence, nice to see you. There we go. All right. Let's move on to a review of the Canadian Open. And we're going to get right into the combo buckets right after this. So I don't have a transition for this. So we're not going to talk about who won. I mean, Robert McIntyre did, but we're not going to talk about the tournament or anything like that, because really the only thing that really matters to me is the whole sweet spot process. How well did the buckets do last week? Because when we get into the bucket system for the Memorial Tournament, I want to give you all the confidence to trust me in what I talk about. So how I determine if a bucket is successful is we look at the projections that I had for earlier in the week. For the min projection, I had 1. For the max projection, I had 3. For this last year 1 bucket. If these numbers, or I should say, if the top 10 number from this bucket fits inside this projection, it's a success. If it doesn't, I will then look at the optimal lineup. If this number fits in the projection, it's a success. Both of them did for the last year 1 bucket. The only bucket that was not successful was the course history 6s, which are did not plays. We had 6 total golfers inside the top 10, 4 in the optimal lineup, 3 are in the sweet spot optimal. Remember, I follow the bucket system, all the rules with the sweet spot process 100% when building the sweet spot optimal. So the projection was 1 to 3. That means I can only use a max of 3. So when we even further review this, I want the sweet spot optimal to win whatever GPP contest I entered for the week. Usually I'm entering the $5 drive the green. Sometimes I'll enter the Millie Maker if they have one. But this week it was the $5 drive the green. So how about that? Let's just review that really quick and then get back to the Marquee Tee Times to show you how successful the sweet spot process was. Although that doesn't make sense. Never mind. We're going to look at the Marquee Tee Times because I don't want to give away the answer before, you know. Anyways, Marquee Tee Times is something we're going to be going over in this video as well for the Memorial, but for the RBC Canadian Open, I'm going to highlight these by every third group or every third tee time. I'm sorry, every third golfer, not tee time and whatever, Each group comprises of 3 golfers. That's how the PGA Tour puts them together. That's how they tee off Thursday, Friday. And of the top 9 groups, I rank order them. The top 9 groups are deemed the Marquee Tee Times. And the rule is you want to select somewhere between 2 to 4 golfers to put into your lineup from the Marquee Tee Times. The second rule is don't pair golfers up in the same tee time. So as we look at this, you can see Rory McIlroy was in the optimal lineup. Do not pair him up with a Taylor Pendrith or a Nick Taylor. That's what the rule is. And as you can see, I've highlighted I've highlighted each one of these groups. Rory McIlroy was with Taylor Pendrith and Nick Taylor. Rory was in the optimal lineup. Mackenzie Hughes was in the optimal lineup. He was paired up with Shane Lowry and Adam Hadwin. Only Mackenzie Hughes was in the optimal lineup. Tom Kim was in the optimal lineup, and he was paired up with Adam Scott and Daniel Berger. He's the only golfer in the optimal lineup, and those are the only 3 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup. I just go over this every single week. So most of you guys already know this stuff just works. Like, we're playing the game by numbers. And because we see this more than 90% of the time, that's just what we do. The rule is 2 to 4 golfers. Don't pair golfers up together because the optimal lineup doesn't show you that. And you can see the GPP winning lineup. It's these golfers here highlighted in blue. Each one of them represents a golfer inside the GPP winning lineup. Rory, Tom Kim, Mav McNeely. And in the Sweet Spot Optimal, it was Rory, Tom Kim, and Keith Mitchell. So let's move on and look to see, did the Sweet Spot Optimal beat the GPP winning lineup? First of all, the optimal lineup was scored 644 points and only left $100 on the table. And that started with Rory McIlroy. Then you had Robert McIntyre, Ben Griffin, Viktor Perez, Tom Kim, and Mackenzie Hughes. That's a 10-8-8-7-7-6 lineup. That was in the GPP, the optimal lineup. And again, that scored 644 points. The GPP winning lineup scored 613 and left $200 on the table. That's a 7, 7, 12, 8, 9, 5. Or a different way to say it, 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 5. But we all know that 5K range is really a 6K golfer, quote unquote 6K. And the Sweet Spot Optimal scored 629.5. The GPP winning lineup scored 613. So the Sweet Spot Optimal beat the GPP winning lineup following all of the Sweet Spot rules, the buckets, the projections of the buckets, the Marquee Tee Times, all of it. And that GPP winning lineup was 10, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6. $5,800 golfer. We call that a 6K golfer, right? The old 6K. So another tournament, another check mark that way, that the Sweet Spot process was 100% correct. Not correct. It was 100%. We won. We beat the GPP winning lineup. We just needed to build our lineups around Rory, Tom Kim, and Keith Mitchell. And I bet you we would have got there, but I'm not a huge fan of Keith Mitchell, nor am I really of Tom Kim, but I'm coming around on Tom Kim. It looks like he's got his confidence back. So we still call him Small Hands Tom Kim, but it isn't because he's a little boy per se. You know, he's coming into his own. He's coming into his own. So we'll give him that. All right. Can't make this up. My wife came and got me to tell me our bathroom is leaking. Oh, no. Fun times. Unbelievable. $500 on Scottie to place a bet. Place on Bet Rivers will place you $2,600. Okay. His hands are growing. Yes. Yes, they are. So that was the review of the Sweet Spot process for the RBC Canadian Open. However, let's talk about some things. Remember about the website. Do I not have it up? Oh yeah, I do. Where is it? I must have dropped it. Why did I do that? I guess I did. Here, I'll show you behind the scenes. This is the editing tool for the website. So anyways, combo buckets, 10, 9, 8, and then we have the 6K tier. This is a part of the members only fantasy tools. If you were to go to home, if you drill down on home, you're going to find members only. You got to be a paying member, got to be weekly, monthly, yearly, or founding member to get access to this. I post the combo buckets here. I mean, the 7K combo buckets, that's free for you guys, but if you want the 10, 9, 8, and 6, you're going to have to pay for those. Now, just to show you, let me open them all up and I'll bring them over because it's fascinating. This is a lot. We started with the 7K combo buckets back during the American Express, and it got us onto Christian Bezuidenhout, which ended up technically winning the tournament. Not really winning the tournament, but he got the winner's prize, the winner's purse, per se. So here, I'm going to scroll in, and each one of these combo buckets, I think what I'm learning about this is for how small these 10, 9, 8 combo buckets are. So this is the 10K combo buckets. To me, it was always between Tommy Fleetwood and Rory McIlroy. I think Shane Lowry was like okay. And normally how this would work is you see where the line is for Tommy Fleetwood. That line would be 1 to 2. And then the next one, we'd always say 0 to 2. And the bottom one, we'd always say 0 to 1. Well, there's only 4 golfers, so it doesn't really make sense to say something like that. And I think you always have to use your better judgment when it comes to looking at these golfers. To me, it was Rory. Again, it was Rory or Tommy. And I built 100%. I said this during the RBC Canadian Open. I was going to build 100% of my lineups around Rory and or Tommy. So that what that meant is Rory was either going to be in a lineup by himself, or Tommy was going to be in a lineup by himself, or Rory and Tommy were going to be in a lineup together. So that's what I meant by that. So I got that piece right. And I think looking at this, this is the second week in a row where the bottom 10K golfer missed the cut. So Sahith Theegala, I think, was even in the week before. He was the bottom. I can't remember. It was someone who Byron was on. Byron, I think, was on Sahith last week. And whatever the golfer was the week before was also on the bottom. Can't remember off the top of my head. But that was your 10K combo bucket. I'm going to swing over the 9K combo bucket, and I'll zoom in. And the same thing is going to apply here as well. I've always said 1 to 2 up here, 0 to 2 here, and 0 to 1 here. And Cam Young was one of these bottom guys. A buddy of mine wanted to play Cam Young, and it's like, this right here made me not want to play Cam Young or Sam Burns. Like, shot like Harden in chat. I know you like Sam Burns. He kind of paid you well if you had played him. He wasn't the optimal lineup. I've even color coded these to show you as much. He was not in the optimal lineup. He wasn't even in the GPP winning lineup. So remember, we're chasing the optimal here at SweetSpotDFS. So no one was in the optimal lineup. Sam Burns did well. Don't get me wrong. Sam Burns did well. So too did Aaron Rai, by the way. So of the top, I think what I'm going to... Oh, man, I don't even know. Because if there's only one golfer up top, and I think that's how I'm going to change things up. There's a different way I'm going to go about this. I even told you guys that Corey Connors, if you just look at the numbers here, 6, 7, 8, that's pretty close. 6 to 7's close, 7 to 8's close, but 6 to 4 isn't as close as those are together, right next to each other. So I was thinking about, and I said this during the video last week, was putting the line right here with Corey Connors. And I think I found a new way to do this. I would always, for the 7K combo buckets, would look at how many golfers there were. So in this instance, we have 7 golfers. And the top 20% or the top 30% is what I'd always highlight or create that line across. So what I mean by that is there are 7 golfers. So 30% is 2.1 of 7. So it would be the top 2 golfers. And then it would also then, the bottom half or the bottom part of it would be the bottom 20%. So again, that'd be 2.1. And then everything in the middle is just whatever. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the highest number, and I'm going to take 30% of that number, and then that's where I'm going to drop the number down to, like wherever that next sum is. So just again, for instance, this would be 2.4. So I would go down 2.4 spots from this number, and that's where I would mark it. So it would be Corey Conners. Corey Conners would be right here. And then that's where I would say you want to select 1 to 2. And I think that's what I'm going to do going forward. And the same thing is going to apply down here. I'm going to take 30% of this number, or 20% of this number, which would be 1.6. We can round up to 2, so it'd be the bottom 2 guys. You know, basically either the bottom 2 guys or 1.6 from this number. So I don't think I would include a Maverick McNeely. I think I just keep just the 2 golfers that are down here. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. We'll see how it goes. This is still a trial and error type of piece. And just before I go any further, I got reminded about this. I can't remember if it was Philip Hall that asked this, if it was Dennis Ames, and maybe it was Dennis Ames. He'd asked me, what are these combo buckets? And combo buckets are looking at all the top 10 finishers from this tournament dating back to when I've had salaries, so 2017 basically. And what I'm doing is for every 9K golfer that finished either inside the top 10 for DraftKings points, if I had the DraftKings points, or the top 10 for placement points, or just placements. So you might be asking yourself, well, if you have DraftKings salaries, why don't you have DraftKings points? Well, there was a year I didn't keep track of DraftKings. I didn't even know you could get DraftKings points from the contest. So there was a year, the 2017 year, I'm not going to have DK points. I might not even have DK points for 2018. But if I do, I look at the top 10 DK point scorers and track how many of those finish inside the so I'll first record those golfers, and then I look at what their course history was leading into the tournament, what their last year bucket was, their recent form bucket, their last week bucket, and then I tally how many of those golfers finish inside the top 10 and compare them to this field. So these are all the 9K golfers. Adam Scott was in a course history / last year bucket combo that showed up twice inside the top 10. He also was in a course history recent form that finished twice inside the top 10. A last year recent form that finished 3 times inside the top 10. And it's not him, it's just the bucket combos that he's a part of. So it's just to this is just for us to look at and see how well these are doing week in and week out, to see if we can glean anything from it. So if we can constantly see one of these guys up here is going to always finish inside the top 10, top 20. One of these guys is always going to finish inside the top 10, top 20. And very few of these golfers are going to finish inside the top 10, top 20. And that's how we would do this. We would ignore these bottom guys, only be able to select one guy from here, and only select one guy, maybe 2 guys from up here. So that's what I'm looking to do when I'm looking at these combo buckets. Again, when we put this to the website, we're going to see more. We're just going to be able to see more of that and put together all of the combos, not just by price, not by salary. That's the other thing we got to think about too, by the way. The buckets still reign supreme. The bucket combos are just a cute way of getting more narrow focused. So here are the AK combo buckets. Your top 2 miss the cut. Now, if I use that same top 20%, so 20% of 7, or 30% of 7, I mean, is 2.1. So we would go 2.1 down from 7, which would be 5.9. So it would be Erik van Rooyen that we would include up. And then I would always go down to the bottom and do the exact same thing, which it's the exact same thing as the AK or the 9K combo bucket. And then you've got these 2 guys here that were in the optimal lineup, which I think no matter what, I'll always say 1 to 2, 0 to 2, and then 0 to 1, which again, I don't know how it's going to work out with these smaller buckets. These you know, there are not a lot of golfers here. So I don't know if 1 to 2 would be 1 to 3, 1 to 2. And by the way, you still follow the bucket system rules, right? So if I scroll in, let me just zoom in. You see these salary ranges. This week, 0 to 210K, 0 to 29K, 1 to 38K, 1 to 47K. So when we look at this AK combo bucket, 1 to 3, we don't want to, I mean, this is last week's, but you know, when we look at the AK combo bucket for this week, you'd only want to select 1 to 3 out of all 8K golfers. So even if I had a rule up here that said 1 to 2, 0 to 2, 0 to 1, you only want to select a max of 3. And obviously Tom Kim, Mac Hughes, they were in the optimal lineup, so there's only 2 right there. So you kind of have to figure out which 2 are they going to be. And I think because of how small, and I think maybe that's what I also have to incorporate, is if the projection for the 8K bucket just period, so again, let me bring this up so I avoid any confusion. This bucket right here says 1 to 3. Because the max is 3, I have to think about this combo bucket as such. It's like I don't want to select more than 3. So I don't know if I'll ever say 0 to 1 up here. Or I mean, not 0 to 1, 1 to 2. I think this will always be 0 to 2. This will always be 0 to 2. And this will always be 0 to 1. I think that's just how it has to be. And it might even change. If this is a small number, maybe it's 0 to 1. And this is 0 to 2. We'll see. Again, trial and error. That's all I'm trying to figure out. Just trial and error. If I go to the 7K combo buckets, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting because we have such larger numbers. I'd always say this is going to be a 1 to 2. If I have 8 or more golfers or even 7 or more golfers, I think this is always going to be a 1 to 2. And here you have Ben Griffin. He was 2nd place, optimal lineup. This next range will always be 0 to 2, always. And here you had McIntyre and Fox. And this bottom range will always be 0 to 1, which nobody played well. And this is like the combo bucket genesis, is the 7K combo buckets. So that's why I might be confusing myself. Do I do 0 to 1, 0 to 2, you know, for these different ranges? Like the black bar indicates the different range. So this is like tier 1. This would be tier 2 down here above this black line. And then tier 3 would be under this black line. So I know that might be confusing, but just remember there's 3 tiers to each of these combo buckets, and the black line designates which is a tier, which is not. So yeah, again, trial and error. I do like the 7K combo buckets. They end up hitting more often than not. I think that's 16 out of 18 weeks now that the 7K combo bucket worked, that it's hit. So I think I'm going to continue to kind of following the 7K combo bucket. The 6K combo bucket, by the way, so this is the 6K. This is where chaos just lives. I don't know what to do with the 6K combo buckets because I don't know how well they're going to track. Trace Crow was in the GPP winning lineup. He's in this top tier. Jacob Bridgman finished 14th. And my boy, Chandler Phillips, the mustache man himself, finished 10th. One thing I'm really looking at is this last week bucket. He was 12th. The week before, he finished inside the top 20. I kind of like that when it comes to 6K golfers. I like that also when it comes to 7K golfers. Having a top 20 last year finish or a top 20 last week or last year finish, I think bodes well for any of these combo buckets. If we scroll down, Viktor Perez was just underneath the line. It went from 14 points to 13, so it was really close. He finished 3rd. And if we keep scrolling down, you're going to see nobody else. Except for Joel Damon, I suppose. He was in the sweet spot optimal. So he finished 10th. Then we had Carson Young, who finished 14th. And then look at this bottom tier. Nobody. So anyways, that is the review of the Canadian Open with the whole combo buckets. Let's look at the combo buckets for this week. I'm going to start with, I think we just start with the 10K golfers and move on from there. I will also post this to the website here soon. All right. So when it comes to the 10K, I did it a little different. There were only 4 10K golfers. And you can see Viktor Hovland and Scottie Scheffler at the top. Here's how I'll play this, okay? It is either Scottie or Viktor, and I might play one of those 2 guys with one of the bottom guys. I might. That's kind of how I'm looking at this because, listen, all 4 of these guys can finish inside the top 10 pretty easy. Pretty darn easy. But I don't know exactly what to, I think you still pick one of these guys. And obviously the optimizer and the sweet spot process is going to tell you 0 to 2 10K golfers. Yeah, I think 1 for sure. I don't know if I'd play both. So really this whole combo bucket might not even be that worthwhile of looking at. But you can see Viktor is a golfer that has so many combo buckets that match up with golfers inside the top 10 over the last 6-7 years. Scheffler is pretty darn close. The only thing that separates them, I should say, I guess there's 2 things. It is their course history and last week and recent form combos. So course history, recent form combo, and the course history last week combo. It's just off by 1 on both of those. Otherwise, both of them have combo buckets that have been inside the top 10 at least once. Whereas you can say that with Rory, he's got a 0 here. Xander has a couple 0s. So this would actually be a perfect time for me to say, I mean, it's not a perfect time. Never mind. If there's a reason to fade Xander, maybe this is the week. If it's also a reason to fade Rory, maybe this is the reason why. So that's how I kind of look at that. Maybe these are the reasons to fade those golfers. But I think it might be fool's gold. So, you know, perhaps don't do it. 9K combo buckets. I scroll in. You're going to see very similar to the 10Ks. Deki is at top. Now, I don't remember where I said this, if it was this video or the last one before the storm came through and forced me to retire a little early. I was talking about building lineups with Scottie Scheffler. Here's an easy way of doing it. Putting Hideki Matsuyama with him. The lowest priced 9K golfer at the top of the 9K combo buckets. He was at the top of the 7K combo buckets for the Genesis Invitational and won the tournament. I don't think that really has that much correlation or that much traction, but you know what? I like it. Honestly, I like the fact he hasn't been playing. We know he's been dealing with a bad neck, bad back, but at Jack's place where he's won before and he's one of the highest combo bucket plays, yeah, sign me up. Like I have no issue playing Hideki Matsuyama. Also, Patrick Henley. How crazy is that? He's at the top. Now here, I can make this judgment. You know how I was talking about the 30% rule, you know, whatever. I'll take the top 30%, you know, or take the top sum number here at 30%. So we do that, you're basically going to get 3.6. Well, 3.6 minus 12, it's going to be 8.4. That should mean the line cuts off right here. And then it goes down to Patrick Cantlay. And it's going to be the same thing for Colin. This line will stay here, but Patrick Cantlay might have to be in this one. And it's just Hideki Matsuyama by himself. Which I kind of like it. Kind of like it. But if Patrick Cantlay comes into this group, I kind of say, I think it's between Oberg and Fleetwood. And I don't trust Patrick Cantlay at all. The guy's been playing like garbage for a long period of time, or this whole season. He's kind of been playing like garbage. He was in the optimal lineup. Don't get me wrong. Or yeah, he was in the optimal lineup during the Genesis Invitational, but whatever happened during the Florida swing, maybe this is where he just gets it back. Maybe this is just like a Keegan Bradley, where he only plays good on bent grass or northern golf courses. Maybe that's why. I don't mind Tommy Fleetwood. He didn't really have a good performance last week's, but it doesn't really bother me that he didn't. I really like Morikawa. Maybe this is a reason to ignore Justin Thomas. By the way, they're in the same combo buckets, each one of them. Morikawa withdrew here last year. Justin Thomas missed the cut. They have the same course history, same recent form, which is good recent form, and same result from last year. I would pick one of them. Don't pick them both. Don't play both of them. I just pick one of them. So that's your 9K combo buckets. Let me move to the 8Ks. Which, like I said, if you want to start with Scottie Scheffler and go to Hideki Matsuyama, you can fit in either Benny Ann or Sung J M. We're at the top of the 8K combo buckets. I guess if I was to do this differently, 2.6, 30% of that would be 4.8. So 5 points, basically. So it should just, maybe it should just be Benny Ann and Sung J M. And then the line goes right here where Max Homa is. And then I guess the bottom 30% of, or the bottom 20% of this number would be 5.2. Oh, no. I did that so wrong. I don't know why. No, I did this right. So 5.2, 7.8 would be the number. So we'd go down 7.8 points. So yeah, no. Yeah, I guess I would include 18 then. If it goes down 7.8, yeah, we would go down. 10% is 2.6. You multiply that by 3, you're going to get 7.2. So, or 7.8, sorry, 7.8. And that's basically 8. 8 minus 26 is 18. So yeah, I guess this works. So here's my point. Here's my whole thought process. These 4 golfers, you select one of them and you play them. You can come down into this range. You can select one of these guys as well. I don't care which one it is. I know Charlie Carden likes Sam Burns. I think this is a great spot for Sam Burns. And then the bottom part, Sahith Theegala is once again one of the bottom buckets, and he's tied with Alex Noren. There's ever a reason not to play Noren or Theegala, here you go. And also kind of maybe don't play Corey Connors, or maybe you just do. Maybe this is a different, you know, just a little bit of a difference where playing Connors isn't a terrible idea, but I'm really liking Benny Ann this week. I also don't mind going to Sung Jae again, probably staying away from Spieth. I don't know what I'm going to do with Max Homa. I don't think I want to play him. He's one of those golfers, if I roster and miss the cut, I'll be so upset with myself. I don't think I can go back to Max Homa. So I don't think I will. And then I don't know what to do with these guys. I really just don't care. Nor do I care about these guys. I'll let the bucket system do its thing, but if I'm anchoring around golfers, like if I'm going to build a lineup where I'm anchoring around 3 guys, it's probably going to be Scottie, Hideki, and Benny Ann. I think it's a really good start. And then jumping into our 7K combo buckets. Yeah, at the top is Mackenzie Hughes, and we have the same situation we had with our 8K combo buckets. 23 is your top point total. 17 is borderline and above, but there's so many golfers here that are 17 and above. So remember, this is a 7K combo buckets. 1 to 2 golfers is what you want to select here. And quite frankly, it's really interesting seeing Will Zalatoris there. Really interesting seeing Fowler, Day. Really just Fowler and Day. I don't mind Straka. Probably not going to play Billy. Probably not going to play Poston. And I kind of like Glover. Matt Hughes interests me because of his top 10 finish last week. Now, it was a Canadian Open. He is Canadian. I don't know if that puts a lot of strain on him, but I guess I just don't care. I don't mind going back. I don't mind going to Mackenzie Hughes just because he's kind of at the top here. And then the middle range, 0 to 2. I think this is always going to be a 0 to 2 range. You can see the bottom here. Tom Hoge only has 6 instances where his combo buckets finish inside the top 10. So I probably fade Tom Hoge. And I don't mind playing any of these guys. They're all very close to each other. I probably like Tom. I like last week top 20s. So I kind of like Tom Kim and I kind of like Ben Griffin, but you can only play so many last week top 20s. You can't play them all, and don't play them all. And just so you know, if I pull up the optimizer and I go to last week 2s or last week 1s, we only want 0 to 2 of those golfers. So it's not like you want to play as many golfers who top 20 last week as you can. Limit your exposure. So if you go with Mac Hughes, don't pair him up with Tom Kim. Unless you ignore the rest of the other golfers that top 20'd. And maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what you should do. Maybe that's the right play. Honestly, could be the right play. But there's other things to take into consideration. We'll see if the optimizer lets us build lineups this way. Those are your 7K combo buckets. And then the 6K combo buckets. It's very interesting as well. So I did the 30% of 448. That pretty much gets you down to 34. So it's Nick Taylor, Pavon, Jake Knapp, and Nick Dunlap. If there's ever a reason to play Nick Dunlap and Jake Knapp, there you go. I think that it's interesting. And same with Matthew Pavon. Remember, what was it? One of the signature events we were just looking at with Scottie Scheffler when he was 12-5. The only way that you could put him in a lineup is if a $61 and a $6,200 golfer were inside the top 10. Well, we got a 63, a 62, and a 6K flat golfer at the top of the 6K combo buckets. Maybe this is where we figure out which 6K golfer to play. Either way, I think you just select 0 to 2 from here. We select 0 to 2 of the golfers here. Thomas Dietrich, by the way, is at the bottom of this range. I'm not too afraid of that. I kind of like the fact that he's in this range. I like him. This Jackson Koivin, yeah, let's not play him. He has no courses. I mean, he's one of the amateurs. I can't remember if he's the NCAA champion, but one of the collegiate golfers of the year get a sponsor's exemption at Jack's place. I'm going to ignore him. Not going to play him. I don't mind some of these 6K golfers. I will not be playing Peter Malnati. There's no way. Andrew Putnam, no way. Chris Gotterup, no way. I know he's a bomber, but no way. Matt Kuchar, no way. Emiliano Grillo, no thank you. The guy has been playing like garbage as of late. Maybe he's figured it out. If you want to take a shot on that, go for it. Eric Cole, no way. Eric Cole, a lot of people's favorite, the RBC Canadian, thought that he was going to turn it around, but he's still just playing like old Eric Cole. Seamus Power, I don't think so. I think Seamus Power just has a chronic back injury that we don't hear about. He just played the US Open qualifier yesterday. That's 36 holes. He also played at the RBC Canadian Open, which he missed the cut. So he had some time, you know, whatever. But I think I just stay away from that. I don't think I want to even deal with it. And then this range down here, if any of the past results from the 6K combo buckets or any of the combo buckets would tell us is just to ignore all of these guys. Lee Hodges being one of the dudes down here at the bottom. And I know he's been talked up quite a bit from the Pat Mayo show to other DFS shows, because, you know, everyone piggybacks off of Pat. But I don't know, maybe this is the reason why you don't play Lee Hodges. I don't really care to play Lee Hodges. Literally don't care. And there's going to be a limit to how many last year ones you can play. Do you really want Lee Hodges versus like a Rory McIlroy? Like, what is our, I think it's 1 to 3. Ooh, 1 to 4. Okay, that actually changes things. When we get to the anchor buckets, we'll talk about that. We'll see. But those are all of your bucket combinations. I'm going to update the website to put in the combo buckets. For you guys, though, if you want an additional entry, here's roll call number 4. Put in Combo Breaker. We'll make this a video game. Combo Breaker. Just type in Combo Breaker. And we will add your name to the giveaways. And I'm going to update the 7K or the 10K combo buckets right now. Okay, it's been the 10K combo buckets are updated. 6K combo buckets need to be updated. Those have now been updated, and update the website. And I will update the 7K combo buckets as well. All right, ladies and germs. Oh, we gotta actually update one other piece. I can't let it be saying the RBC Canadian Open. We're at the Memorial. All right. Members page has been updated with the Memorial Tournament information. My update for the 7K combo buckets didn't quite work out because I was trying to make 2 updates at one time. Website does not like that. All right. Updating it right meow. Alrighty, combo breaker. Shai Carden says, do you think that bad putters putt better here? Let me think on that one. Barry R, does Sneds have history at Jackson? Dude, we're not playing Brent Snedeker. Brent Snedeker, that his exemption is just a mercy, like, invite. It's like, hey, you've done so much for the game of golf, you know, 14 years ago that we're going to give you an exemption right meow. Like right now. I keep saying right meow. We got to stop doing that. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to say your name wrong, but I looked it up. I looked up Francois, but it's not Francois, it's Francois, right? Something like that. I can't remember. I looked it up. Had to. I hate not getting names correct. Edward Gale, what's going on, man? There we go. Yeah, basically, I'm going to reward all of those that stick around. So you're going to have the most... Okay, Francois is just fine. If you're around during this whole stream, you got it in the background and you're participating, you're always going to have the most opportunities to win any of the giveaways that I do. So going back to Shai Carden's comment, do you think bad putters putt well here? I have a whole diatribe that I want to basically give all you guys, but I want to wait for a video to do it. I wanted to do like a one-off video because I can't stand stats, like data analysis. I can't stand it. It's so bad in this PGA DFS realm. It is so bad. So let's look at 2023. I have lead-in stats. I am the only person that I know of, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that captures lead-in stats to analyze. Like, nobody does that. Nobody's capturing lead-in stats to analyze. It bothers me beyond belief because here's what people are going to show you. Let me open up my master file. And I'm going to show you what people do. And it bothers me so much. It's going to be an eyesore. I apologize, but I'll just zoom in. I'll hide this column. And we can put a filter on here because this is all that we need to look at is right here. So let me go ahead and put a filter on this. And we're just going to look at the Memorial Tournament. So Memorial, there we go. All right. Maybe I need to zoom out a little bit more. Who won here last year? I think Hovland won here last year. So we look at Hovland's stats, right? So Hovland's known as a good putter. I would say he's a good, I mean, when I watch him play, I know he's a good putter. So it's not, his example's not going to really work out. Who finished second place? Denny McCarthy, Scottie Scheffler. Okay, so Scottie Scheffler, Siwoo Kim. I mean, those are all good putters, right? We can use Scheffler. I don't know why, but I have a red. Okay. We can look at Scottie Scheffler and even Siwoo Kim, right? Siwoo Kim. Negative 0.83 strokes. But approach off the tee. That's also a bad example. With Scottie Scheffler, is that who we want to use? Scottie Scheffler, minus 8.52. 12.06 on approach. That's insane. Okay. Yeah, none of this is really gonna help. I can't explain. I'm not gonna be able to explain what I want to looking at those stats. I'd have to look at a full picture, and I'm not gonna be able to do that on this file that I have. I'll be able to do on the website once I, take a drink for every time I say once I, put it together and publish it. But here's the thing. Looking at like 2024. Not 2024, 2023. Lead-in stats. You would want to look at this column here and determine, are these golfers bad putters or not? Now, obviously, last year, anything in the positive, I'd say is pretty good. Positive just means you're break even. And quite frankly, Scottie wasn't that bad of a putter, nor was Siwoo Kim. They're just below break even. I guess if I go to 2022 and we look at the lead-in stats, and this is a full year's worth of stats, so it's probably a little skewed. It's positive putting, positive putting, positive putting, very positive up here. Denny McCarthy once again. Yeah, there's some negatives here. Daniel Berger, probably the worst, but Daniel Berger's not known for being a bad putter. He must have not had a lot of events under his belt, and of the events he played, just didn't have super great putting skill, putting days. But okay, here's my 2 cents when it comes to stats analysis or data analysis. A lot of people will take what they've seen inside the top 5 or even just the winner. Like a lot of times it's just the winner. Who won last year? Who won the year before? Who won the year? What do they all have in common? Oh, they're bad putters. It's to who? Who's saying they're bad putters? Who thinks they're bad putters? Does the data suggest they're bad putters? Do you look at every single hole that they putt on? Did they actually hit bad putts? Did they just have impossible putts? So, like, put this in mind here. If the pin position is in the front end of the front side of the green, and if you miss long, you've got to go down a 20-foot slope. And it won't stop before the hole. It will travel 10 feet by. It's an, bad pin position. PGA Tour wouldn't do that, but let's just use that as an example. If you hit your iron shot on the top shelf of the green, when you put that green or when you put that ball off the green, was your putting bad or was your approach play bad? Like, what does that mean to you? If you know you can't go long on that hole and yet your approach shot ends up going long, shouldn't that be more of a penalty on your approach and not your putting? But you're gonna get penalized with your putting because those stats don't show what happened on that hole, or they don't show what happened during that round. Now that's one hole that'll get watered down over 4 rounds of golf, but those are scenarios that can happen that can affect your putting negatively. So we use this broad scope of bad putters, good putters, good off the tee is something you can obviously use because it's the only shot that's not impeded by anything. Approach, that's iffy. If you had a tree right in front of you that you had to curve a ball around either direction, you had to curve around the tree. If you did and you fit the approach stats requirements, which is a cone of 45 degrees from your ball and it has to travel at least 40% of the distance, if you do that, you had to hit a huge high skill shot, you will get negatively penalized by that because your off the tee shot puts you right behind a tree. Like there's a weird, I'm not anti stats, but I am anti what's the word I'm looking for? Obsessive with stats. I'm obsessed with stroke chain stats. Anyone who is obsessive with stroke chain stats that doesn't provide detailed hole by hole, round by round analysis on stroke chain stats, I just don't want to listen to, because I don't think most people even understand what those stats are, understand how to even analyze them. Do you know stroke chain stats are baked into your results? So why not just look at results? There's my diatribe. Like that was essentially the video. Maybe I'll just cut this part right here and add that to the video. But that's my take on it. This industry is so obsessed with stroke chain stats, yet nobody knows how they're calculated. Nobody knows all the nuances that go into the stroke chain stats. Over time, they normalize. Sure. What kind of time frame are you looking at? You're looking at 12 rounds, not long enough. Looking at 24 rounds, not long enough. Looking at 36, too long. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't. No fault of yours, Shot Like Heart. I'm not I did this over the weekend. I was hanging out with buddies. We were playing a game and I was like, dude, what is the point of you doing that? And the guy looked at me, he goes, what? And I'm like, you're literally not playing this to win. You're just playing for me to lose. And he goes, no, you're the right target. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And so, but then I looked at him, I'm like, I don't have an issue with you. So like Shalik Harden, I don't have an issue with you. There's nothing wrong that you said. You just gave me an opportunity to step on my soapbox and say my feeling. You already know I have these feelings about stroke chain stats. Anyways, I wanted to provide that. So Shot Like Harden says, look at Bradley and Glover as examples. So I don't necessarily look at them as like, oh, okay, so Glover, definitely a bad putter. There's something up here with him, right? Him hitting the ball close to the hole, him being as good as he is, ball striking, since this golf course is going to be tough, just gives him enough birdie opportunities and anti-bogey opportunities. So, or I don't even know how to say that. It just eliminates bogey from the picture. Even if he misses his birdie putts, like even if they're short birdie putts, I think that's fine as long as he makes par. You know, I would want Glover at his price tag to shoot 4 to 6 under. If he shoots 4 to 6 under, he'll be inside the top 10 most likely. And if that's the case, perfect play. Same kind of goes with Bradley. But I just don't trust Bradley all that much. I trust Glover. I don't trust Bradley. What's going on, Ryan Henson? WGR is the only way to pick DFS plays. WGR, is that OWGR, the World Golf Rankings? Scheffler lost 8 strokes putting last year. Yeah, but so if you look at his approach stats, that means he's sticking it to 6 feet, but is he leaving himself like a really bad 6-foot putt? You know, like a 6-foot downhill putt, you know, that 20-foot downhill putt I was talking about, where his approach stats actually look better than what they were. And they're fast greens. So if you misread a putt, and we all know Scheffler last year had not really the yips, but his putting just was bad last year. It's just, you're not going to have that bad of negative stroke chain stats unless your approach is really good. If he was hitting his approach stats to like Jordan Spieth levels, which are like 40 to 50 feet away, his strokes gained putting would be pretty square. They'd be pretty even. I mean, that just shows you that Scottie, if he was playing at an average golfer's baseline, should have won. I mean, what was the score last? Scottie was 6 under. Yeah, so Scottie should have won by 4 shots. He should have been 10 or 11 under. If he would have putted closer to 0, he would have won by 4 or 5 shots. Okay. Let's move on to the bucket system for the Memorial Tournament. I'm not going to take too much time going over the bucket system for the Memorial Tournament. I'm going to put a filter on this, and you guys can follow along with me on the cheat sheet. I know I forgot to mention that in the second video, but you can follow along with me there. There is a bucket system page for you guys to follow along with. If you don't know, there is a link in this description, the description of this video, for the cheat sheet. Otherwise, you can also use the website, SweetSpotDFS, to find the cheat sheet that way. Okay. What I am going to do, and I explained this during the review of the RBC Canadian Open, how you want to read the bucket system is looking at these two columns, minimum projection and maximum projection. And you know what? I'm going to pull up the website, because I know there's going to be enough people that are going to be like, what the heck is the bucket system? Here's a wonderful place. You can go to the website, SweetSpotDFS.com, go to Fantasy Tools, go down to Articles. You can read all about the bucket system. I also have a video that explains the bucket system. There's a link for it in the description down below. But if you want to read what the bucket system is, you can come to this page. The article will say the bucket system, and it will explain what the bucket system is. So I highly encourage you to do that. Go check it out. But basically, all that, if you don't care to do that, all you need to do is look at these two columns here: minimum projection, maximum projection for each of the buckets. And the buckets will, I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but if they're not, refer to that bucket system article. But for last year ones, again, we're looking at these two columns. The projection is 2 to 4, but that 2.04 is pretty darn close to being under 2. And I always round down with the minimum. I always round up with the maximum. So I will look over in this column over here. It says max projection for MISC info. This is including the SweetSpot scores into each of these buckets. So 2.85 is the maximum projection, which then you round up to 3. The second piece to the whole rule set here is you want a 2-point buffer between the minimum and the maximum at all times. And if this conservative max projection is 3, then our conservative min projection is 1, and we're going to use 1 over here as our minimum. We're going to use 4 as our maximum, because that's the biggest gap between the two, and we're just going to roll with that. But that's how you would read each of these buckets, whether it's last year 2, last year 3, 4, 5, 6, or even if you want to come down here to recent form 1, or even course history 1, you would use that same thing. For course history 1, now that I see it, you can see it says 0.54 to 0.75, round down to 0, and then we want a 2-point buffer, so that automatically makes us a 2. That's how you would read the bucket system. But if you just want to go along with me and just look at max or the anchor buckets, how to find out the anchor buckets is to put a condition on here. We're going to go greater than or equal to 2. Hit OK. And these technically right here are all of the anchor buckets, just so you're aware. This would be all of the anchor buckets. But we kind of want to just trim down how many anchor buckets we're looking at. Quite frankly, they're all pretty trimmed down. I don't want to go through all of them, but basically what the anchor buckets are telling you is you need at least one of these golfers. I'm going to nitpick here. So I'm going to look at some of the low ones that are on here. I'm going to look at last year ones. I will look at course history 2s and course history 3s, recent form 1s. We're going to skip the other ones, and I'm actually going to skip the stroke chain bucket. So we're just going to look at these 4. Last year 1, course history 2, course history 3, and recent form 1. So what you would do with that information is you'd go to the dream sheet, put a filter on it, and basically I'm going to make sure my salaries are sorted from top to bottom. And we want to look at last year 1s, because our buckets, our projections tell us we want somewhere between 1 to 4. We already just went over this. I know it says 2 to 4, but 1 to 4 is the number we're looking for. We have Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Viktor Hovland. Those are 3 10K golfers I want to play. I don't care. I probably will. I'll water down my ownership for these golfers. I think I'll probably have Scottie in 35 to 40% of my lineups, and I might split the other lineups between Rory, Viktor, and then a non-10K golfer. Or I'll probably have Xander there as well. There's no way I'm not playing Xander. But Scottie's going to get the majority of my ownership for the 10K golfers. And then remember the bucket projections 1 to 4. Well, I already talked to you about how I like Scottie and Hideki Matsuyama together. Like, that's just oof. I like that combo a lot. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably do that. And then whatever works with the rest of them, perfect. It doesn't really matter to me, but I really like those two together. Let's go to course history 2s. So we'll select all just to keep everyone in here and go to course history 2s. Now we have Rory, Xander, and Viktor. So we're seeing Rory and Viktor Hovland in both of these anchor buckets that I, again, have chosen, nitpicked, if you want to say. So yeah, it's interesting. And then there's Benny Ann. You know how I was talking about putting Benny Ann in these lineups? So the projection for this bucket was 1 to 4 as well as the last year ones. 1 to 4. Well, I usually like to pick a golfer at the top and mix in. So here's one way to look at this. If you were anti-Scottie, here's a perfect time to get on someone like a Rory or a Viktor Hovland, pair him up with Hideki, and then also put him with Benny Ann. That way, you would get 2 golfers from this bucket. Rory overlaps with the last bucket we were looking at. So he would be in that one with Hideki. So that would be 2. Remember, the projection's 1 to 4 for each of the buckets, but it's pretty darn close to 2 to 4. There you go. You got your 2 golfers that way. And then maybe the bucket system will select one of these guys down here just to fill in. And not so much the bucket system, the optimizer. I think that's very intriguing. Now, another anchor bucket would be course history 3s. And that projection is 2 to 5. So we'll go to course history 3. And by the way, even if the projection says 2 to 5, it might not mean you can afford to put at least 2 golfers in your lineup. Maybe you can only afford to put 1. The projection probably still be correct. Maybe 2 or maybe even 3 golfers finish inside the top 10, but it might not fit the salaries that you need to put in your lineup. So just be careful about that. This bucket's 2 to 5. The projection's 2 to 5. Now, when I look at the golfers, there are some very notable names. There's Hideki Matsuyama, which we were just talking about. Collin Morikawa, I like. JT, I don't mind playing JT. Is there anyone else that I mean, Sung J M is another one. So in the AK combo buckets, we saw Sung J and Byung-Hun An. So this is actually really, really interesting. I am seeing a case to be made. Like a Viktor Hovland, Hideki Matsuyama, Benny Ann, maybe a Justin Thomas or a Collin Morikawa. Here, I'm going to throw that in the right away. I'm going to throw that into the optimizer. So Viktor Hovland. Do we go Collin Morikawa or do we go Justin Thomas? I'll let you guys choose on that one. I'm going to go Hideki Matsuyama. I think we could build a lineup this way. Maybe we can't. Maybe this is just how we got to do it. Is Viktor here, Benny Ann, and Sung J M. Do we just start a lineup like this? I am not hitting any of the Marquee Tee Times. Let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna build one lineup this way. I just want to see what it looks like. Viktor, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Sung J M, Brian Harman, JT Poston. It's okay. It's whatever. You guys like Morikawa? All right, let me see if I can put Morikawa here. I don't think I can. I think it breaks. I think that's too much money. Yeah, it breaks. So let's see here. Colin. Okay, so I guess I could choose between Morikawa, JT, and Matsuyama. That's probably what I do. Yeah, not that one. Jay. So yeah, it's a choice between Matsuyama, Morikawa. Well, Morikawa and Matsuyama are playing together. Oh my god, I like that group so much. I guess I just don't see how that group doesn't have a optimal lineup golfer come from it. I guess, do we just say it's Morikawa? Let's try a Morikawa lineup. That's a pretty good lineup. Hovland, Morikawa, Benny Ann, Sungjae Im, Steven Yeager, and Cameron Davis. That's a really good lineup. Let me save that one. And let's see. I think, yeah, I saved all of my ownership levels, so I will go ahead and scroll down and make these all 100%. Actually, I want 100% down to the 6K range. Okay. So there was that lineup. Let's put in Justin Thomas. I mean, all of these work, by the way. All of them work. Viktor, JT, Benny Ann, Sungjae Im, Brian Harmon, Adam Hadwin. I don't know if I want that much Brian Harmon. Interesting speculative play, but I don't really trust him. And I also don't really trust Hadwin. Steven Yeager, Ricky Fowler. I like that. Ricky Fowler was in one of the top 7K combo buckets. So there we go. It's another good lineup, man. Another good lineup. And let me do one more. Let's take him out and put a Matsuyama. I know we already built one Matsuyama, but let me try another one. Viktor, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Sungjae Im, JT Poston, and Glover. That's fine, I guess. Let's not do JT Poston, though. I don't mind JT Poston. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind JT Poston, but I think I'd just rather not this week, or at least building this lineup. Lucas Glover, Ricky Fowler. Let's do no Ricky Fowler. I'm just gonna build one more and then we'll carry on with the bucket system. Steven Yeager, Chris Kirk. Okay, it's whatever. So anyways, moving on to the next one. Did we look at this? This course history 3s? Yeah, this course history 3s. Let's go to recent form 1s, and then that'll be kind of the end of the anchor buckets for the Memorial Tournament that I'm gonna go over. Again, this is, you have this access at the cheat sheet. Find a link for that in the description below. So for recent form 1s, we want to select somewhere between 1 to 3. 1 to 3. You got Scottie, you've got Viktor, Rory, you've got Viktor, you even have Xander, you have Morikawa, you have Thomas. So again, if you're building a lineup, Viktor, it's 1 to 3. Viktor, Morikawa, and or JT, right? It seems pretty reasonable, but you could also do it the Rory way as well. So I guess if we have, man, Morikawa or Justin Thomas. I like Morikawa a little bit more. Crazy. Crazy stuff, man. I like this. This is why I love the bucket system. It's so much fun putting together the pieces. So that was the anchor buckets. Now the last piece to talk about are the Marquee Tee Times. So now that we're at this segment, let's go ahead and do some more roll calls. Just put buckets in the chat. Buckets. B-U-C-K-E-T-S. Buckets. And I will read chat. Scottie losing his strokes, putting. Yeah. If I bet 100, I can win more than I have in DraftKings this year. There we go. Morikawa. The optimal lineup will have at least 2 Asians in it this week. Question mark. Probably. I have a really strong feeling that Hideki is going to be inside the top 10. And I kind of have a strong feeling that Morikawa or Sung JM will as well. I suppose Xander is considered Asian too, isn't he? Isn't he half Asian? Okay. I will wait to see if anyone else needs to catch up with the stream, but we're going to go into the Marquee Tee Times. And if you are using the cheat sheet, which again, you can find a link for that in the description below, go ahead and I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you on the cheat sheet. Basically, put that filter on, and in column O, sort A to Z. A to Z will get you the buckets, and you can also see that it's color coordinated over here. All the golfers that are in the Marquee Tee Times are color coded with their SS rank in this green color. So just throwing that out there for you. John, AJ, and Philip, make sure that your stream is live. Hit that little live button. I don't know if you guys are a little bit behind, but those came in a little late. We can close down the Canadian Open. We don't need to look at that. We are on the Marquee Tee Times for the Memorial Tournament. There are only 2 golfers in a tee time, and they're all going off a hole 1, and it's between, I think, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., something like that. So there is such a thing as a weather wave. Not so much a wave, but their weather will affect different parts of these tee times. And it's a very tricky thing to try to calculate because you don't have a wave. You just have continuous golfers teeing off of hole 1. So I think if, say, wind changes between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and say it goes from 10 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour, basically anybody teeing off at 7 o'clock will finish before the wind hits them. Because these golfers should be able to play their rounds of golf within 4 hours, if not less. Since there's only 2 of them, I'd imagine it's going to be closer to it should be about 4. 3.5 hours to 4. Unless there's just someone out there holding everyone back, which is possible. So if there's a 7 o'clock tee time, they're most likely going to be done by 11. If that's when the wind starts coming in, they're not going to be affected by it. Golfers that are teeing off at 8 might be affected by it by 30 minutes. Golfers teeing off at 9 might be affected by an hour. You know, it's a tricky thing to calculate. And it also depends on which holes are going to be affected by the most. Golfers that are teeing off between 11 and 1, where the wind's supposed to pick up, are going to get the short end of the straw. Short end of the stick. So, yeah, it's hard to determine all that stuff. Obviously, look at the weather before Wednesday night, just to make sure everything is good. But honestly, when it still comes to the Marquee Tee Times, it doesn't really matter. Does not really matter. We still want to select 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times, the 9 golfers the 9 groups that I have selected. I'll actually zoom in a little bit more so you can see this better. The 9 groups selected on the screen. You want to select 2 to 4, and you do not want to pair up any of the golfers together. There will be 4 rounds of golf, so you know it will change. It will be different. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know if they're going to regroup after round 1. Like, I don't know if they're going to re-tee, change up the groups. I didn't look at that. I don't know if that's what they did during the Genesis or the Arnold Palmer. if they do, then it really doesn't matter if these golfers are playing together. I don't think you want to pair golfers up either way. So what's really interesting is you've got a choice between Xander or Hovland, a choice between Scottie or Oberg, Rory or Thomas. So that's really interesting. You know, all the lineups we're considering where JT, Morikawa, and Rory were in the same groups. Well, they're teeing off together. So Rory and JT don't work together. Rory and Hideki works together. Rory and Colin Morikawa work together. Like, they're okay. This is cool. All right, so there's those two. Morikawa's playing with Hideki. Love that group. Absolutely love it. The Rory JT thing, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it doesn't really matter to me. Scottie and Oberg, I think that'll be a good group. That'll be that should be a good group. Hovland and Xander, I also think is. I mean, yeah, those are good groups. Talk about one of the worst groups though. Patrick Cantlay and Wyndham Clark. I can't imagine Wyndham Clark, because I think Wyndham's a faster golfer, wanting to play with a Patrick Cantlay. It will be interesting to see how they pair up together. It'll be very interesting. Sahith and Russell doesn't really do anything for me. Tom Kim and McCarthy. You know, Tom Kim for a long time was considered a good putter, and then for whatever reason that kind of fell off. Does this spark Tom Kim to putt better? I don't like Tom Kim. I'm not gonna lie. Max Homa and Ricky Fowler, the battle of the two popular B-tier golfers, I guess. Golfers to never do it in a major. Something like that. I don't know, whatever. And then Spieth and Harman, talk about a like, this is the emoji where you put the sick guy like about to throw up. Like, that's literally what I'd be doing right here. No, oh my god, gross. Harman, by the way, 10th in my model. So Harman will show up a lot in the optimizer, just so you guys know. So here we go. We are going to build lineups. I'm going to put music on, and I want you all to give me 2 to 4 golfers to build lineups around. Everything that we've talked about tonight. Hopefully you guys can remember. Maybe, maybe not. And it's fine. It is fine if you don't. I'm throwing that music on, though. I might blast your eardrums. Be careful. Playing with the same partner. Good to know, man. Thank you. This will also be like a roll call number 6 for you guys for participating on the channel, and I need to timestamp these ones. Members will get YouTube members. Of course, I always forget to save all these. So timestamp, timestamp, timestamp. You know, it's not even gonna matter. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go back to the timestamps. And I'm actually going to delete all of these because it doesn't really matter. I have to go back and look at everything differently anyways. Let's go B1. And we are going to just timestamp the lineup build. Actually, we're going to hit start and we're going to timestamp the lineup building. I'm going to put everyone's combos in here. Eric Carnivore. Scottie Kawa. AJ Love. Wants Scottie Xander. That's bold. Cody Gambill. Wants Scottie Deki. Love that. There we are. Scottie, Benny-Ann, and Fowler. I love that. Paul. Scott. Oh, Scottie. There we go. Scottie. Homa and Tom Kim. Is it Tom Kim or Siwoo Kim? I bet you it's Tom Kim. We'll see. Holy moly, look at this. He gave me 3. That is ballsy. Charlie Harden says, I don't even need to put one in. Everyone will have all the Scottie combinations covered. Yeah, I agree. Please just run my 10 and I'll check them tomorrow. I have big concert in the morning. Well, good luck, man. And good night. No, Francois, it is fine. I said 2 to 4. You give me 2 to 4 golfers. It's just rarely do anyone give me 4 golfers. So I appreciate it. Honestly, I do. I don't think there's anything wrong with you giving me 4 golfers. It's very narrow, and being narrow is going to give you the best chance to hit the optimal lineup. Philip says Tom. Okay, we got it. Perfect. So all of these are also going to double down into roll call number 6. Look at you guys with all your entries. We'll figure this one out. I'll go back in and change them all up. I'm not going to waste that time right now. All right. Let's timestamp these and get into them. Eric Carnivore, we're going to start with your Scottie Kawa lineups. Gotta turn that music up. There you go. I don't want that song though. Alrighty then. Scottie, and actually let me pin this to the chat. Eric Carn. Whoa. That was so weird. There you go. Got to get my my music all ready to go. Scottie Morikawa, Henley, Jaeger, Thompson, and Chris Goddard. I don't mind it. It isn't my favorite. We'll kick that out and do another one. Scheffler, Morikawa. You know what? I'm actually going to bring back Jake Knapp and I'm going to kick out Emiliano Grillo. Grillo might not be a bad play. I don't trust him. He's had a full like 3 months to do something and he hasn't. So I don't know how he's going to change his game and just play better out of nowhere. I like Jake Knapp at this course too, by the way. Scottie, Morikawa, Fitzpatrick, Jaeger, Thompson, and Matthew Pavon. We'll save that one. Don't mind that. Scottie, Morikawa, Henley, Glover, Eckroat, Peter Malnati. Blech. Blech. Scheffler, Morikawa, M, Jaeger, Riley, and Jake Knapp. There we go. That was a good one. Scheffler, Morikawa, M, Jaeger, Nick Taylor, Brendan Todd. That's interesting. Yeah. You know what? This is such a different lineup. No one's going to have it. Sure, we'll save it. Not my favorite, but not the worst. This is pretty bad. I'll bring back... Do I bring back Seamus also? Nah. I think we kick out Kuchar. By the way, Eric Carnivore, you can tell me anything else. Like, if you want to change other things up, let me know. Scheffler, Morikawa, M, Jaeger, Power. I think I know what's going on. So it is asking to pick a 7K golfer. I think I'm going to change that to be a 0. I don't know how much that's going to help. Actually, no. We probably want a 7K golfer, but not an 8K golfer. Try this out. Okay. Scheffler, Morikawa, Jaeger, Poston, Dietrich, Pendrith. I would much rather have Dietrich than Poston. Yeah, Eric Carnivore, let me know if there's anything you want me to slow down, make more decisions. If you want to make more decisions, let me know. Scheffler, Morikawa, Jaeger, Glover, Fowler, Schenk. I don't know about that one. Scheffler, Morikawa, Jaeger, Fowler, Dietrich, Pendrith. Okay, sure. I don't mind that one. Scheffler, Morikawa, Day, Fowler, Cole, Thompson. I like Davis Thompson. I don't like Eric Cole. Eric Cole is one of those that I would just rather not. And say we tried. Scheffler, Morikawa, Jaeger, Glover, Fowler, Schenk. That's cool. I'm cool with that. That one's fine. I might have already built it and was, I don't know. Yeah. Here's a good one. Scheffler, Morikawa, Day, Jaeger, Pendrith, Cam Davis. We like that one. Yeah, no Cole. I agree. Scheffler, Morikawa, Harman, Jaeger, Eckroat, Adam Hadwin. Okay, that's a little bit different. I don't mind it. And I like this one too. Scheffler, Morikawa, Jaeger, Fowler, Dietrich, Thompson. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna build another lineup without Jaeger in it though. I don't want to kick all of them out or bring them all back. But I'll bring back Knapp, Schenk, Eckroat, and Pavon. Scheffler, Morikawa, Harman, Fowler, Eckroat, Schenk. Did we already do that one? We did not. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. This one's okay. Let me try one more. Glover and Justin Rose. All right. Not terrible. That's our 10 lineups for Mr. Carnivore. Hopefully you got some good ones out of that. All right, moving on to AJ Love. He wants Scottie in the Xander zone. Probably gonna have to up. Maybe not. Let's take a look. Let's see what happens. You are welcome, sir. Scottie, Xander, Poston, Glover, Riley, and Grillo. I think you're just going to have to deal with Grillo in a lineup like this. Xander and Scottie doesn't... Like, the price tags are so difficult. Since there's no 5K range, it really makes a difference. This lineup is pretty good. Scheffler, Schauffele, Poston, Glover, and Hodges. I like that one. It's pretty darn good. Scheffler, Schauffele, Jaeger, Glover, Todd, Goddard. No, thank you. Scheffler, Schauffele, English, Glover, Thompson, Malnati. Nope. Not gonna do it. Scheffler, Schauffele, English, Glover, Thompson, and that amateur. That ain't happening either. And then it breaks. So let's remove the 7K thing and see if we just build like 3 6Ks to go with these two guys. Nah, it just breaks. There aren't many options, it appears, if we go Scottie, Xander. Yeah, you need some really low price 6K guys. So unfortunately, we gotta move on. AJ, you'll have to give me a different combo if you want to see some other ones. All right, Scottie and Hideki, my favorite. See all the different lineups we can build. I think I need to add someone to. Is it Bisel? Bisel, do you need to be added to the giveaways? Oh, I forgot to timestamp. Dang it. We'll figure that one out. AJ Love. Okay. We are on Cody Gambill. He wants Scottie and Hideki Matsuyama, which is kind of going after my heart because I also like Scottie and Deki this week. So here we go. First lineup: Scottie, Matsuyama, Jason Day, Jaeger, Post, and Pendrith. Okay, I'm gonna change things up. I had to get rid of the 8K and 7K requirements that I had before, so let's do it again. You think you're in a couple? Did I already save yours? Scottie, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, JT Poston, Dietrich, and Brennan Todd. Yeah, sign me up for this one. This is actually gonna get one of these. Well, I really like that lineup a lot. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Henley, Harmon, Shank, Davis. Oh my goodness. That's a really good lineup too. I need to figure out a way to mute the music while the other music is going on. I like this lineup a lot as well. I know I'm biased because I like Scheffler, Matsuyama, but Tom, Kim, Knapp, Benny Ann. Hey, I'll take a shot on a Grillo lineup, or having Grillo in this lineup. Yeah, sign me up. That's fine. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Henley, Jaeger, Eckroat, and Hadwin. Sure. Got no issues with that one. Not going to do Kuchar. Although this lineup, if you want to be really different, it's pretty darn good. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Henley, Horschel, Fowler, Kuchar. All right, well, it's an okay Goddard lineup. I'm going to build you two more good ones and then move on. And Malnati is not ever going to be part of a good one. Ever. Not even if there's a fire. Nope. But sure. Yeah, I don't mind this lineup. Sign me up. And one more. Seamus Power. Just to be different, I think it's fine. I think that one's fine. Okay. Should probably just get rid of Peter Malnati. I don't think there's ever a way I'm going to be building a lineup with Malnati on it. All right. Going to Barry R. He wants Scottie, Benny Ann, and Fowler. Scottie, Benny, Fowler. We get Scheffler, Benny Ann, Henley, Harmon, Fowler, Dietrich. There's a lot of H's in there. There's a triple H in there. Time to play the game. Gotta save it, right? You're wondering what the triple H is. It's Hun, Henley, Harmon. Okay, that's what it was. That's a really good lineup, though. I do like it. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Day, Harmon, Yeager, Fowler. Okay, it's more of a balanced lineup. It's a pretty good lineup. Don't mind that one. I do need to kick someone out. I think we kick out the Hobbit for a mid guard. There we go. And this one we get Scheffler, Benny Ann, Day, Yeager, Glover, Fowler. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Hey, if I need a Thigala lineup, I'm glad I have one. This is a decent lineup. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Day, Yeager, Fowler, Pendrith. It's pretty good. Barry, if you're in chat, is there a golfer you don't like? So for instance, Yeager is showing up a lot. Would you like me to continue letting the optimizer select Yeager, or do you want me to kick him out? Same applies for Jason Day. So I'll continue running lineups. You tell me otherwise. Scottie, Benny Ann, Denny McCarthy, Billy Horschel, Steven Yeager, Ricky Fowler. Okay. Interesting. Do I like... Yeah, you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm trying to make it like not a good lineup, and it's not bad. No Yeager, no Day, please. Okay. Do you like Eric Cole? This lineup we get Scheffler, Benny Ann, Tom Kim, Harris English, Poston, and Fowler. Very balanced. 10, 8, and 4 7s. No Cole. There we go. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Henley, Tom Kim, Ricky Fowler, and Emiliano Grillo. Sure. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Tom Kim, Poston, Fowler, Shank. Yeah, sign me up. All right, how many lineups do we got for you, Barry? We started here, I believe. Yep. 2 more lineups, 2 more good ones. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Tom Kim, Sepp Strock. There we go. Fowler and Cam Davis. This is, yeah, this is a great one. We like that lineup. Scheffler, Benny Ann, Tom Kim, Bradley, Fowler, Davis, Thompson. Sure. It's another good lineup. We like it. Those were the 2 good ones. Those were 2 good ones to end on. I like those ones a lot. I like it a lot. Alrighty. We're gonna go to Philip Hall. Philip wants Scottie, Homa, and Kim. Tom Kim in the 7K range seems a little too low. Barry, you are always welcome, sir. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Yeager, Poston, and Thomas Dietrich. Okay, it's not bad. I will ask the same question I asked Barry to you, Philip. I think Yeager's going to show up a lot. I think Yeager and Jason Day are going to show up a lot. Do you want to play those guys? And perhaps maybe Poston. Next lineup is Scheffler, Homa, Kim, English, Yeager, Pendrith. Yeah, sign me up. I like that lineup. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Harmon, Poston, Grillo. Yeah, it's maybe too much Grillo so far, but that lineup's pretty good. If you want Grillo, go for it. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Day, Jaeger, Brennan Dodd. Time me up. No Jaeger bombs. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Day, Poston, Cam Davis. Okay, sure. Poston's not going to be one of my guys that I want to play that much, but it's not terrible. And neither is this lineup. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Poston, Glover, Shank. Here, I'm going to kick Poston out this time. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Day, Penrith, Eric Cole. Yeah, weird. No Eric Cole for me. Davis Thompson, sure. No problems there. No Poston, perfect. We already kicked him out. Got rid of him. Ooh, I like this lineup a lot. Scheffler, Homa, Kim, Day, Glover, Davis, Riley. Sign me up. Add Knapp to the mix. Yep. That 5 with Knapp. That 5 with Nick Taylor. Probably not. And no for Kuchar. Matthew Pavon, sure, why not? I'm gonna kick out Jason Day. Yep. Let's see here. We got you 8, so I build you 2 more good ones. This is a pretty solid one. I hate price tags that are the same. Eckroat and Pendrith. It's a good lineup. So that's one good lineup. So one more good one here. That's borderline. I'm gonna save it. That's borderline. Yeah, I like this one. All right. Those were lineups for Mr. Philip Hall. Hopefully you got some good ones you like there. EricCarnivoreRN. Oh, no, we already got him. Philip. We're down to Francois. Rory, Viktor, Henley, Davis, Riley. It is a very specific anchor buckets or plays, which we love. We love that. And it's the first Rory combination, and even like we had some Viktor. Where are we at? Davis Riley. You know what? I do like Davis Riley at 6,400. When he came out of college, there was some talk of him being kind of a prodigy, not so much a prodigy, but like a good golfer, like a Scottie Scheffler-esque talent. So if he figured it out, ooh boy, oh boy. All right, so we get Rory, Hovland, Henley, Poston, Glover, and Davis Riley for this first one. Davis Riley or Eckroat are your cheap options this play. Yeah, I like Davis Riley more than I like Eckroat. This is a pretty decent lineup. We need to get rid of either Poston or Glover. Who do you choose? I'm gonna get rid of Poston. You might tell me different. Oh, thank you, Philip. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Post on out. Get him out of there. This one is McElroy, Hovland, Henley, Poston, Glover, and Riley. Wait a minute. I thought we got rid of Poston. WTF, mate? Oh, I put a yes. Sometimes that happens. We fat finger it. Okay. We get McIlroy, Hovland, Henley, Glover, Fowler, Davis, Riley. Who would you like kicked out here between Fowler and Glover? I'm going to say Fowler. You might change. You might be different. There we go. We guessed right. I guessed right. All right. So we get McIlroy, Hovland, Henley, Harman, Kirk, Davis, Riley. You know what? Sign me up. Got no issue with that one. Big Win Sports. What's going on? Fowler kicked. Yeah, he did get kicked. Where's my sound effect for that? He got the boot. McIlroy, Hovland, Henley, Jaeger, Hadwin, and Davis Riley. It's a pretty good lineup. Leaving $600 on the table. So probably gonna be unique. No Harman. You got it. So what I should do every single time I kick someone out, just make the karate kick. There you go, Harman. Get one right in the face. McIlroy, Hovland, Henley, Jaeger, Hadwin, and Davis Riley. I don't mind that one. Did we just save that one? Oh yeah. Yeah. Who would you like kicked out of this one? I got you 2 more good ones, man. 2 more good ones. Jaeger or Hadwin? I'm gonna guess Hadwin. Although, nah, probably Jaeger, right? Kick out Jaeger. Yeah. Yep. Hey, man, you're spot on. Eagle eye. McIlroy, Hovland, Henley, Tom Kim, Patrick Rogers. Listen, that wasn't for Patrick Rogers. That is just for the uniqueness of that lineup. That is a sexy lineup. Holy moly. Holy moly. Well, there we go. That might have been the lineup to end on. If you want something a little bit different, this one isn't terrible. I want to kick out Shane Lowry because I kind of want to see what other one can be built. And it did not disappoint. Give me the Harry-ish with the glove and Davis Riley. We love it. Those were some good lineups, man. Glad we were able to put some of those together. We're gonna move on to the last one for the night. It looks like I might build some lineups. I might theory craft here at the end of the stream, but I want to make sure I get you, Mr. Bisel. John wants. Gotta find his name. Benian Matsuama. Matt's your mama. Benian and Ben Griffin. Griff Daddy. Where is the Griff Daddy? 7,200. Interesting. Okay. There we go. All right. First lineup. Bisel of the Johnness. Rory McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benian, Brian Harman, Ben Griffin, and Thomas Dietrich. I like it minus Harman. I do not care for Harman, so therefore I am not going to save this one. Harman's gonna he's gonna crush. If I play him, I know this is what's gonna happen. If I play Harman, he's gonna piss me off because he's one of those golfers that if he's in my lineups and he misses the cut or he plays like shit, that's who I get mad at. I get mad at golfers like Harmon. I don't get mad at golfers like Dietrich. I don't get mad at golfers like Griffin or Benny Ann or Matsuyama or Rory McIlroy. But Brian Harmon, yeah, I can't stand that guy. Mr. Bisel, you still here, by the way? Let me know if I'm wrong. You tell me if you want those guys instead. But this is a lineup I sign up for. Rory McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Taylor Pendrith. Yeah, I like this lineup. Yeah. Appreciate you, John. We at McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Day, Griffin, Pendrith. Did we just do this one? We did that one already. So who do we kick out of this one? Probably Pendrith. I trust Day more than I trust Pendrith. McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Griffin, Jaeger, Dietrich. Of course, we had a Jaeger lineup, right? So yeah, we'll kick Jaeger out of this one. Unless you like Jaeger, you tell me to bring him back, and I will. McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, Poston, and Dietrich. Of course, we had a Poston in there as well. So sure, we'll save that one, but we'll kick out Poston. Again, you tell me otherwise. John, if you want Poston in, you say bring him back. Bring back Poston. McIlroy, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Henley, Griffin, and Grillo. I don't know how I feel about that one. I want, sure, just because you need some Grillo in your life, sure. And now we kick him out. Scottie for Rory. You want to switch out? I could just put a no on Rory. Here, let me just kick out Rory and just see what the optimizer does. No Jaeger? Okay. I think we kicked him out already. Yeah, we kicked him out already. I'll just put a no for Rory. And instead we get can't. Okay, so we get very balanced. Remember going over the past optimal and GPP winning lineups? We saw that balanced end up being the key. You get Cantlay and Matsuyama, who were in those 9K combo buckets at the top. So I probably wouldn't do that together, to be quite honest. I'm probably kicking out Cantlay. If we're locking in Matsuyama, we're not playing Cantlay. So we get Ludwig, Oberg, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Russell, Henley, Day, and Griffin. Sure, sign me up. There's a very balanced build that could do well. But let's speculate and say Ludwig's knee, not so great. Next lineup is Viktor Hovland, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Russell, Henley, Griffin, and Fowler. Hey, I don't mind going to Fowler this week, by the way. So that's not a terrible lineup. We're going to kick out Fowler, though. We'll give him one lineup. Don't want any more than that. Matt Fitzpatrick. Wow. Hovland, Matsuyama, Benny Ann. So 10, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7. Yeah, sign me up. What a lineup. I think I'm going to kick out Fitzpatrick, though. That's pretty freaking awesome. We get Henley in there this time. That's really good. It's a very ball striker-centric lineup there. I'm going to kick out Glover. We get Viktor Hovland, Matsuyama, Connors, Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, and Eric Cole. Okay, we get some Corey Connors love. That's awesome. Oh, I don't like Eric Cole. What am I doing? That's all right. We saved one Eric Cole lineup. It's not going to kill us. I'll build 2 more good ones, John. 2 more good ones. And this is a good one. I like this one. Xander, Matsuyama, Connors, Benny Ann, Griffin, and Matthew Pavon. We like that one. One more good one. Oh, that's pretty close. I'm gonna save it, and I want to build one more just to see what the next one's gonna be. Shane Lowry, we'll give him the boot. Give him boot. And we get something extremely different. Hovland Matsuyama, Wyndham Clark, Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, Cam Davis. That's a really good lineup. Cool. I'm glad to have done that. What did we get? What did you, how did we, or how many, Jesus, words, Eric. We built you 12 lineups, Mr. Carnival, or Mr. Bisel, sorry. 12 lineups. All right. I think we're gonna call her quits. Well, here, let's speculate a little bit. I guess maybe not so much speculate. That might not be the right word. But the lineups that I built at the beginning, when we went over those bucket combo, or the combo buckets, was Viktor, Collin Morikawa, or Viktor Justin Thomas. One with Scottie. Okay. We could build more than one with Scottie. I think we could. Let's try for 4. We get Scheffler, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Ben Griffin, Dietrich, and Grillo, which is fine. Might kick out Grillo in case he doesn't get kicked out. Yeah, he won't get kicked out. We're not doing Kuchar. You know, he could play well, but now he's just at an age, and his game just cannot play 4 rounds of golf at a PGA Tour level. Scheffler, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Griffin, Shank, and Todd. That one I don't mind. Do not mind that one. Let's kick out Todd. Oh, John, you're welcome, man. Not gonna do Goddard, although you would think a long ball hitter would do well at this course. And we're not doing Snedeker, that's for damn sure. And then it breaks. I'd imagine that's Griffin's fault, because I bet you could go with these 3 golfers and build a ton of lineups together. Fowler, Dietrich, Cam Davis. Yeah, that's fine actually. I don't know if you saved that one already. I'm gonna kick out Fowler. There's a bit of Fowler I don't trust here, but I think he's an okay play. Glover and the Napper. Yeah, sign me up. That's great. Scottie, Matsuyama, Benny Ann, Glover, Dietrich, and Jake Knapp. There we go. I need to have exposure on Harris English and Ben Griffin now. Yeah, I like those plays. Okay. So, it was, oh man, is this just another Viktor? It's a Viktor Hovland week. Like those buckets that we were looking at earlier, just all lined up. I'm gonna have to rewatch the video to see how we got to some of these guys. Can't put Rory and JT together. So I know we were looking at last year ones, and JT's not here, but Rory is. And so too is Hideki. There's Ricky Fowler. This bucket, remember, was 1 to 4. We wanted 1 to 4 golfers from this bucket, or at least that's what we're projecting to be inside the top 10. And I don't mind if I went Scottie here, but it was like Hovland, Matsuyama, right? And then the other anchor bucket was course history 2s. Which we had Hovland yet again, and also Rory yet again. But this way we pair up Benny and... Yeah, I don't think I'm doing Spieth, Homa, or Thigala. You know, okay, here's the other thing we also have to remember. This is where I'm starting to get too cute with this stuff. The projection is 1 to 4 for course history 3s, right? Or course history 2s, 1 to 4. Now, here's the thing. Rory and Hovland could finish inside the top 10. They could. And so too could Benny Ann. So all 3 of those guys can finish inside the top 10. But only one of them, maybe it's just Benny Ann. He's the only one that finishes, or that is in the optimal lineup. And perhaps Scottie Scheffler does so much better than Rory McIlroy and Hovland, you can't play McIlroy and or Hovland to go with Benny Ann. You just can't. So maybe it's a Scottie Benny Ann situation. But the bucket still would succeed with its projection if Hovland or Schauffele or Rory finishes inside the top 10. Skip out on the rest of these guys. This is fine. Another one to look at is course history 3s. So yeah, there's Hideki. So we were kind of looking at these 3 guys, right? Morikawa, Thomas, Matsuyama. Let's see. I don't even know. I mean, there's Sung Jae. I like Sung Jae. You know, I don't mind Will Zalatoris either. That's one golfer we didn't really see much of. This bucket projection is 2 to 5. And unlike that last bucket we were just looking at, I bet you 2 of these guys, like you could pick 2 for sure, they will be in the optimal lineup, because $9,800 is the most expensive golfer. You know what you could do? I think you can do a Viktor. Well, you can't put Morikawa and Matsuyama together. But you could do Viktor, Thomas, and Matsuyama. Or you could also, I bet you could do Viktor, Morikawa, and Thomas. Let's try that out. So Viktor, Morikawa, and Jati. See what this lineup looks like. It breaks. It breaks because I need an 8K golfer. Okay, I'm going to kick out the 8K golfers. Let's just say one of them doesn't even finish inside the top 10. I get Brian Harman, Poston, Thompson. Yeah, those couldn't be more boring golfers that I don't want in my lineup. I don't mind Poston here. I just don't want to keep seeing the same name over and over again. Jaeger, Fowler, Pendrith, of course. But you know what? Don't mind it. I kind of don't mind Jaeger at this golf course, but then at the same time, I don't know if it's too much for him. Glover, Fowler, Dietrich. I like Dietrich more than I like Fowler, so I'm going to bring back... I think what I'm going to do is say no here. Probably going to say no to Glover as well. Might bring Glover back. If it breaks, I might just have to do that. Look at this lineup. Hovland, Morikawa, Thomas, McCarthy, Rose, and Cam Davis. That's pretty solid. What if I lock in Willie Zalatoris? Doesn't break. It actually gives us a pretty solid lineup. Hovland, Morikawa, Thomas, Zalatoris, Rose, and Davis Riley. Pretty solid. I'm going to bring back Riley, and I'm going to kick out Rose. There's something that I think the Pat Mayo show, I can't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Jeff Feinberg was talking about how Rose runs out of gas. He's like a Kuchar type. I think they're just too old now. And this is a way better, this right here, way better substitution. Hovland, Morikawa, Thomas, Zalatoris, Dietrich, Davis Riley. I like it. Okay. So that was okay. I don't mind those lineups, but quite honestly, I don't see how I can't. I gotta do Scottie. And I think it goes Scottie, Matsuyama, probably Benny Ann, and just see what happens. Reload's okay. Yeah, I don't want Harmon though. Okay, so I already know what the optimizer is going to do. I don't want Harmon. I don't want to see Jaeger. I don't want to see Poston. I don't want to see Glover or Fowler. So be more creative than that, optimizer, please. Benny Ann, J Day, Cam Davis, and Brendan Todd. That's a start. I don't mind that. I don't care. I don't mind B Todd. What the hell? Yeah, sign me up for this. This is my favorite lineup of the night. I think the only thing that I want to do different is maybe kick out Day and see if we can build some other nap lineup. I'm not gonna lock in nap, but I just want to see. But we don't do Kuchar, but that's not a terrible lineup. It really isn't. Matthew Pavon and Sepp Straka. Yeah, I'll save that one. I'm gonna bring back Pavon and kick out Hadwin. Really don't mind that one though. Matthew Pavon. Scottie, Clark, and Thomas. Okay. I'll build like, you know, two to five decent ones. Oh, Kurt Kitayama. I'm just gonna say yes for now, but I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. I don't really care for Kitayama. So Horschel comes in with the nap. I don't think so. There's no way I'm getting to Billy Horschel. I know he's won this tournament before, but I think that was just more of a fluke than anything. I like this lineup a lot. Mac Hughes, Dietrich, Jake Knapp. Sign me up. And because we're that close to the number, actually, you know what? I'll save it. I'll let John Bisel's lineup hit me for one more good one to save. Scottie, JT, Windy C. And it hits right away. What's going on, Mr. D'Lo? I am back, but I'm also probably going to log off pretty soon. It is midnight my time, so just finishing up a couple lineups. Long time no see though, man. And then it breaks. Hey, we saved lineup 69. That's all that mattered to me. There must have been some issues with the other buckets. That's okay. I'm pretty tired though, and hungry. I'm gonna probably grab something to eat here pretty soon. Appreciate all you guys coming back. If you didn't know, had a little bit of a water issue. Same. Tired and hungry. Had a little bit of a water issue where the window above me was just pouring out water, and my computer sits right underneath it. So thankfully I built my computer desk to kind of block all of those situations. No electrical stuff got wet whatsoever. So I was lucky, thankful for that. And currently I have a heater going on the carpet that my desk stays on, and trying to dry it all out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be good. But it stinks that we have had so much rain this year. Mosquitoes are terrible. Golf course is always cart path only, or no carts. Walking only, I should say. Okay, we need water. We kind of had like well, it's not so much a drought, but we had some summers in the last few years where we just didn't have a lot of rain. Rivers got really low, lakes got really low. So it's all right. It's all good. Shall like Harden's still here? Okay. Since all you guys are here, Mr. D'Lo showed up. Oh, Mr. D'Lo, you asked a question. It says, I have sucked at these elevated events. Any strategy recommendations? I would say don't be afraid of playing the low 6K golfers, and don't be afraid to playing multiple low 6K golfers. So for instance, we just built some Cam Davis $6,300 lineups. So like we had Cam Davis, and we paired him up with Jake Knapp one time. Not only did we pair him up with Jake Knapp, but also Brendan Todd, which was great. Matthew Pavon is also good. And honestly, if you want to go back to like an Emiliano Grillo, like if you can, I don't know how many lineups you build, but if you can differentiate yourself from the masses and pick some of these guys down here, like Nick Dunlap, by the way, Dunlap and Knapp, and I can't remember who else was a part of the 6K combo buckets, but those are great plays to go to. I think they're actually fantastic plays, and maybe Dunlap is the play, quite honestly. He could be your 6K hidden gem, and you can mix them with any of these other low, like 2 low 6Ks, I bet you will be in the optimal lineup. So it's kind of my theory, my take on it all. But yeah. Let's see here. How about this? Just type in good night, and we'll get you another giveaway roll call. Mr. D'Lo gets his opportunity to get his name into the giveaways, but we're gonna sign off here. So I'll just wait for all y'all. Just put in good night. That's all we need to do. Say good night to each other. Be nice. Be nice to each other. All right, I will pay attention to the chat while I log off, but I appreciate you all coming back, watching the second stream. Sorry for the delay. We were going really well there, or going great, I should say. Pretty smooth until the water started pouring through the window. So, yeah, appreciate you all y'alls, and let's see what else do I got going on. I'm trying to remember here, but I guess. Let me bring this over. Remember about giveaways. All of you in the chat right now, you all get additional entries in the giveaway because you're participating. But $5 weekly. We had 2 winners earlier. I'll have to rewatch it. If you're watching right now, just email me, message me something saying that you're a giveaway winner, and I will send you your $5 however you need it, however you want it. But yeah, unfortunately we did not get to 750 subscribers, so the US Open is going to be a $100 giveaway. I will be posting individual videos for that, I believe. I don't know, we'll see. I've got a golf tournament Friday, I've got a golf tournament Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to actually get ahead on this stuff, so maybe I shouldn't I don't know. I guess if we get salaries tomorrow, maybe I'll do past optimal and GPP winning lineups, make a video of that. We'll see. I don't know yet. Lineup buildings for me tonight or tomorrow night. We'll do a Thursday night stream. Pretty sure we'll do a Thursday night stream. I think it's supposed to rain here yet again Thursday, so we'll see. Check out SweetSpotDFS.com if you haven't already. For all future giveaways, I'm going to be giving away weekly memberships to people that are already logged in or who already have an account on SweetSpotDFS.com. So if you're not there, do it. Sign up. Whether that's a weekly giveaway I do or a monthly giveaway, you got to have an account on SweetSpotDFS.com. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. Well, if anything, I'll tweet it or I will post it on YouTube. I will go live Thursday night with the website video. So if you want to talk to me there, you can wait until then. You certainly can. By all means, you do you. I'm going to log off. Thank you all for watching. That's not the button we want. We want this one. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.